In Akainu's view, the Four Emperors pirate group is powerful, but the drawbacks are also very obvious. That is, the Four Emperors pirate group can exist, not because of how big the power is, but because of their captain, the Pirate King. Take the Whitebeard pirates as an example. Their strength and influence are huge enough, but after the battle for the top, what will the Whitebeard pirates end in? Not to mention that the Whitebeard pirate group could not keep the title of Four Emperors without Whitebeard. In the end, it could barely be regarded as the first-class pirate group, and it was no longer in the eyes of the major forces. With the Four Emperors pirate regiment, in the eyes of the world government and naval headquarters, it can be regarded as a great enemy and a great threat. But without the pirate regiment, without the Pirate King, even if it is very strong, it will never be again. The world government and naval headquarters paid too much attention because their threats were not enough to attract too much attention. It's like the pirates of the One Piece King Roger. After Roger's death, how much energy did the world government and marine invest in capturing the remaining crew members? Not much, because these people may be strong enough, but they are not enough to make the world government jealous. In comparison, naval headquarters is different. Even if you can kill Marshal Marine and Marine Admiral, it will cause a great sensation at best. In fact, it cannot shake the foundation of Marine at all, because Marine has already formed inside. A set of formed institutions will not collapse due to the disappearance of a person. Claude laughed and said, "What you said is correct. Although the Pirate Four Emperors is powerful, we don't need to be afraid. The reason why I have told you so much is that I just hope you can think carefully before acting. Don't forget. Now, although you are already Admiral, not everything can be alone." Akainu's eyes squinted, while Ghost Spider and Harrington looked up at the sky and down at the ground, looking like I didn't hear them. They certainly understand what Claude said. Today naval headquarters is Sengoku in charge. Sengoku and Akainu are completely two factions, so Claude doesn't want Akainu to be caught by Sengoku because of his recklessness. After all, Sengoku can't control Admiral. Pull it down, but there are still many ways to make you uncomfortable. However, Akainu understood what Claude meant, but he didn't care too much. If he didn't sit in this position, he might still think like Claude, but now he is already Admiral, so naturally he can't be like him anymore. Like before. Because the standing position is high, the scenery you see is different. Sengoku is already Marine Marshal. Basically there is no possibility of continuing to rise, so he does not need to target himself. And he does not need to be too scrupulous about Sengoku. As long as he didn't do too much, Sengoku would definitely open his eyes and close his eyes. Whether it is Sengoku or Akainu, their goal is to make Marine stronger, and internal fighting will only consume their own strength. They are smart people, so even if they are not a faction, it is absolutely impossible to fight inwardly. Will only grow Marine with unanimous ideas. This time he was sent to New World. Perhaps there was a reason why Sengoku was jealous of him, but Sengoku didn't know what he thought, so he separated the two and gave him the right to enter New World. Let him go to New World. Noisy. Compared with someone like Sengoku who has decades of experience in politics, Akainu knows that if he talks about conspiracy, he is definitely not Sengoku's opponent, and he also knows his current situation, so he didn't fight. Mean. His current idea is also very simple, which is to enhance his strength and prestige, develop his power, and make plans for the future. Compared with the Marine dominance in the first half of the Grand Line, New World is more in line with his intentions. Here, he only needs to concentrate on dealing with the pirates, and there is no need to think about other messy things. Although our entry into New World is confidential, it will inevitably not be known to the pirate forces, so we will not act for the time being, mainly focusing on gathering intelligence. Even though he wanted to deal with the pirates as soon as possible, Akainu endured it. As Claude said, the timing is not good. The birth of two new pirate kings attracted the attention of all the pirates. The good thing is to let them go to the chaos by themselves, and they will see if there is a chance to take advantage of the fisherman's profit. Claude and the others nodded in agreement, knowing themselves and enemies, and they are not dead. At this time, they have just entered the New World. It is best to observe the situation first and find the flaws before taking action. After everyone else left, Akainu and Claude were the only two left. Akainu immediately launched observation hockey and felt it to the fullest extent, and then stopped after finding that there was no one. Although Claude does not possess observation hockey, he is a senior Marine after all, and he has been in New World for so many years without incident. Naturally, he has some skills. He is not too unfamiliar with observation hockey. Akainu has not concealed it, so of course he can find out. Sakazuki, what are you, observation hockey? Claude was surprised. Akainu nodded and said, well, it is observation hockey. Claude was surprised. Sakazuki, you really surprised me too much. First, Conqueror's hockey, now observation hockey, plus armament hockey. In Marine, you are in addition to Garp Vice Admiral. The second person who possesses Conqueror's hockey, even if it is put in the world, it is definitely rare. the youngest admiral in Marine's history is really not a good thing. He was really shocked, because observation hockey and conqueror's hockey are very few talented people who can have it at the same time, even among them Marine. Now there are only two of Garp and Akainu. At the same time, he is also very emotional. If nothing else, Akainu's talent is definitely one of the strongest of the new generation of Marine. Akainu waved his hand and said, "Don't say anything extra. Have you arranged the person I sent before?" Claude knew that Akainu had been using observation hockey to observe, so he said directly, "He has been sent out according to your request, but do you really think he is capable of completing the task you have given you?" Akainu said, "I'm not asking him to do big things, just let him hide under my orders. If he doesn't even have this ability, then it's useless to keep him, but you only know me about this matter. No, you must never let a third person know. After all, if it is successful, it will be able to play a big role in the future." Claude nodded and said, "Although I don't think he has that ability, just do it with you. Maybe you have a better vision than me. You can rest assured that I did everything according to your requirements, except for you and me. Besides, no one else will know. Even if he has unrealistic ideas, I can guarantee that he can't get over any waves." Akainu still trusts Claude. The two of them have a fateful relationship. He said that there is no problem, then it must be okay. "Claude, you send people to inquire about information at sea to see which notorious pirate groups or pirates are there. Although we are not able to deal with the Big Mom pirates and Beasts pirates for the time being, we can deal with other pirates. There is still no problem. Coming to the new world, Akainu certainly can't sit and wait all the time. He doesn't care if the two of them can become 4 emperors, because he knows very well that with his own power, he can't stop the general trend at all, unless he gives up. Do the best of naval headquarters, otherwise it is impossible to wipe out these two people. But if you don't deal with these two people, he can deal with other pirates. New World is so big, there are so many pirates, and there are many big pirates. He doesn't believe that he will really be idle. I know you can't be idle, don't worry. I have already let people start collecting information before you arrive. You are not interested in ordinary little pirates. I will find pirates with enough weight." Having been friends with Akainu for so many years, Claude still knows him better, so before Akainu arrives, he has already started to act, and he thinks a lot. Akainu is already admiral, naturally can't do it for 1 or 2 small gangsters, look for powerful big pirates. Akainu is very satisfied. At this time, you can see the importance of a true friend. A true friend, sometimes you don't even speak, he knows what you are thinking. Although Claude looks mad, his mind is very delicate. "There is one more trouble to leave to you." Akainu's eyes flashed with cold light, and he said solemnly, "The Whitebeard pirates. I watched the Whitebeard pirates closely. They came and went without being indecent. The last time I was embarrassed by them, I still have this tone. Did not swallow it." Claude looked horrified and said in shock, "Sakazuki, don't mess around. The Whitebeard pirate group is now the #1 power in the New World. After more than a year, his power has been extremely stable. In terms of influence in New World, only the world government can overwhelm them. Sakazuki, I would rather you do it to Big Mom pirates and Beasts pirates, and I don't want you to do it to Whitebeard. After all, you are a little bit certain about dealing with those two people. I really don't have any certainty when dealing with Whitebeard." He is really horrified. For more than a year, he has been watching the rapid development of the Whitebeard pirates, so he knows the horror of the Whitebeard pirates better than everyone else in Marine. Although they are not invincible, at least they are. It must be impossible for people to manage Whitebeard, and he wanted to let Sakazuki dispel this idea for the first time. "Sakazuki, I'm really serious to advise you, it's best to dispel this kind of thinking, at least not to think about it at this stage." Akainu frowned, but before he could speak, Claude spoke first. "I know what you want to say, but it's not that I have become less courageous, nor that I am too afraid of Whitebeard. You also know me. Not to mention Whitebeard, even if it was Roger back then, as long as I met, I wouldn't have the slightest fear." Akainu agrees with this point. Since the last time he came to New World to contact Claude, he has not been disconnected since then. Just as Claude knew him, he also knew Claude and knew that Claude was not daring. A person who is little afraid of things, a person is not afraid of death. What else can make him fear? "Then why are you?" Claude said, "It's just that the Whitebeard pirate group is not so easy to deal with. We shouldn't choose them." Akainu was silent. Although he would sometimes go his own way, he has matured a lot now. Claude's words are reasonable. If he collides with the Whitebeard pirates now, it is really difficult to take advantage of the power he has now. If it is cheap, there may be a danger of destruction. You send someone to stare at. I won't do anything until I have no absolute certainty. Although unwilling, this is indeed the best way. After Claude heard this, he was relieved. He was afraid that Akainu would desperately find the Whitebeard pirates. In that case, he could only bite the bullet and agree. Fortunately, Akainu did not lose his mind. Time passed like a white horse, and another half-month passed in the blink of an eye. During this half-month, Akainu and others have stayed at the G5 branch base. They have not gone out a step. They are all watching the situation in New World. In the past half-month, New World has ushered in the most chaotic moment in recent years. Two great pirates led the four emperors, which attracted the hostility and attack of countless pirates. According to Incompletely Wanted, New World, at least about 30 to 40% of pirates participated in this four emperors battle. New World has a very large area, with a population of hundreds of millions, or even more. The number of pirates is at least hundreds of thousands. This is still a conservative estimate. In the comics, when the Whitebeard Pirates Alliance was on top of the war, tens of thousands of people were dispatched, and it is certain that this is definitely not the owner of the Whitebeard Pirates Alliance. There must be reserve personnel who did not participate in the war. It is conservatively estimated that the Whitebeard Pirates in its heyday may have more than 100,000 people. There are so many people in a Whitebeard pirate group. New World has the other three emperors, not to mention, the number of Big Mom pirate group will certainly not be less than that of Whitebeard pirate group, and put the four emperors aside, the number of scattered pirates is even more numerous. So, New World has hundreds of thousands of pirates. This is not an exaggeration, there may even be more. As Admiral of Headquarters, Akainu knows the situation of Marine quite well. The number of Marines definitely exceeds 1 million. Marine has so many troops, the number of pirates is bound to be more, so 30 to 40% of the pirates participating in the battle. It is conceivable how amazing it is. Compared with the previous New World pirates besieging the Whitebeard pirates, it is a bit scarier. But even so, the Big Mom pirates and Beasts pirates were definitely not defeated. Instead, they became more and more courageous in the battle, and became more and more firmly seated in the second position of New World Four Emperors. The tactics adopted by the two pirate groups are also different. Charlotte Linlin, the leader of the Big Mom pirate group, basically doesn't make any moves across the wild. Beasts pirates is another phenomenon. Several super powerful pirates led by Kaido, especially Kaido, are basically single-handedly fighting against the pirate groups that come, and one person picks one pirate group and kills it. The pirates fled, suffering heavy casualties. Because of all of these achievements, Kaido is regarded by the pirates as the most terrifying person, and his reputation has skyrocketed to reach Whitebeard. In the past half-month, more than tens of thousands of pirates have been killed or injured. This is the most tragic war since the era of the pirates. Countless towns and villages have been destroyed, and civilians have been brutally killed by the pirates. New World, there is already a wailing. Many countries joining the world government have appealed to Mariajoy for help, and even many people have come to me. Claude's expression is very solemn. This time the incident has completely exceeded his imagination. It is even crazier than when Akainu proposed the four emperors. The entire New World, except for a few places, was swept into this war. Extremely tragic. These damn pirates. Akainu yelled in anger. He didn't care how many pirates died, but these pirates killed countless civilians for their ambitions. This is what he couldn't bear. He wanted to kill all the pirates. Claude said, "They are indeed damned, but no one can stop them now. Marshal Sengoku has not ordered. The world government is also looking on the sidelines, wishing the pirates can kill each other, but they never thought that once the four emperors were established, what kind of situation will it look like after it is over?" Akainu snorted coldly. Of course they know what the situation is, but even now they don't have much energy to deal with the pirates. Now their goal has become the Revolutionary Army. Revolutionary Army. The Monkey D. Dragon guy is really amazing. How long has it been until the old men of the world government are scared? Claude exclaimed heartily. As the highest Marine General of New World, he knows that there are naturally many secrets. Although the Revolutionary Army has been relatively low-key in the past 2 years, it has also done several major things. New World and Grand Line have their tracks in the first half of the period. Some time ago, they actually planned changes in several countries, destroyed the nobles and royal families of several countries, and plunged those countries joining the world government into chaos. Although there are many pirates in New World, no matter how powerful the pirates are, they can be powerful for so many decades, but the Revolutionary Army is different. They hold the idea of overthrowing the world government, so they naturally frightened 5 elders, especially a few. The sudden coup in this country allowed them to see the horror of the Revolutionary Army. This Revolutionary Army, which only exists underground for the time being, possesses extremely terrifying energy, especially Monkey D. Dragon, as the leader, has become the first person on the world government bounty list, offering a bounty of 2.2 billion Baileys. Higher than the strongest pirate Whitebeard. Dragon. Hearing Claude mentioning the dragon, Akainu's eyes flickered. Compared with normal people, the dragon is definitely the man who opened the hook. This man is younger than him, but he has done such a earth-shattering event, leading a group of horrors. The power of is even crazier than him who is really on the hook. Knowing that the dragon escaped from Akainu's hands, Claude didn't want to say anything, turning off the subject and saying, "Sakazuki, I have found a few targets for you. Do you want to start?" Akainu was shocked and said, "Of course, you immediately hand over the information to me. Always watching the gang of pirates commit crimes. I have long been unable to sit still." Not to mention, Claude's intelligence ability is really not a boast. He has searched a dozen or so not weak pirate groups. They are all pirate groups led by some big pirates, and they are basically bounties of hundreds of millions. Pirates. There are still 19 years away from the plot. This time is the beginning of the era of big pirates, so the bounty of the pirates is growing rapidly, but it is still much worse than when the plot started. Now these pirates are offering rewards. Most of the gold is made with real strength. Unlike later, a pirate can be rewarded with a bounty of tens of millions or hundreds of millions. If that's the case, let's dispatch it. This time he took 5,000 soldiers from the headquarters. He divided these soldiers into 3 parts. He, the Ghost Spider and Harrington, each led one of them. He led 1,000 private troops, and the Ghost Spider led 2,000 private troops. Harrington led 2,000 soldiers and started to clear the pirates according to the information provided by Claude. As for Claude, he stayed at the branch base and sat behind. If you don't mingle, yimming is amazing, and what he describes is this marine operation. Under Akainu's order, the 3 parties dispatched at the same time to quickly clean up the pirates. In just a few days, more than a dozen pirate groups were wiped out. All the captains of the pirate groups were captured alive, and the pirates under his command. They are almost killed. Marine's sudden action made the already chaotic new world even more chaotic. Those pirates who had not participated in the battle for the position of the 4 emperors before also started to take action, for fear that Marine would act against them, and began to monitor Marine's movements. Many pirate groups were wiped out with the momentum of thunder, making the name of Marine Admiral Akainu reverberate through New World in an instant. Most of the pirates heard that the new Marine Admiral was acting in New World and attracted a large group of people. Look. Especially those countries and towns that were harassed by the pirates. After knowing that naval headquarters sent troops to suppress the pirates, they were all very excited, hoping that Marine could come to rescue them and eradicate the pirates. Of course, the time chosen by Akainu is indeed very precise. At this time, the 4 emperors dispute has reached a fierce heat. Most pirates are actively or passively involved in this war, so there are not too many pirates to go. If you really want to deal with Marine, if the powerful pirate group doesn't deal with Akainu, those who are weak will naturally be unable to deal with it. This also led to countless pirates falling under Akainu's command in a short period of time. Not to mention Ghost Spiders and Harrington. 1,000 private troops led by Akainu himself wiped out thousands of pirates. Akainu personally caught 2 big pirates who offered a bounty of more than 100 million yuan. In addition to him, the Ghost Spider and Harrington are not significant. As a veteran of New World, Harrington is very familiar with the battle with the pirates. Therefore, relying on the strength of Marine, he wiped out several pirate groups, killed a pirate with a bounty of more than 100 million yuan, and caught 1 more. The Ghost Spiders are relatively close, but they also killed 2 pirate groups that offered a bounty of nearly 100 million baileys. He also inherited Akainu's ideas and showed no mercy to the pirates. Instead, the pirates killed were 3-way men. One of the most. Because he caught and killed the pirate himself, Akainu's fear value during this time has also increased rapidly. Not many people can be fearless in the face of death, let alone a pirate. Every time a pirate is killed, he got a lot of fear points, so hundreds of pirates died in his hands during this time. It was also because of Akainu's amazing killing method that even the soldiers in his private army were terrified of him. Although it was not comparable to the fear value provided by the Shanghai thief, it was also an income. I don't know if it was because of too many killings that his whole body exuded an astonishing killing intent, and ordinary soldiers didn't dare to approach him very much. Sometimes even he himself felt that he was too murderous, whether he wanted to constrain it, but looking at the ever-increasing fear value, he immediately put aside this idea, because he killed all the pirates with great sins. These people are no longer humans in his eyes. Killing them is like slaughtering a dog, without having to bear a psychological burden. Sakazuki, you are too murderous. After returning to the G5 branch base, Claude frowned when he saw Akainu. If ordinary people killed a lot of people, they would naturally have a different aura, that is, murderous aura. He is also the Marine Vice Admiral who killed countless people, but even he, after seeing the momentum on Akainu, is very uncomfortable. This murderous aura can show that Akainu has killed too many people recently. You are Marine Admiral, and you have so many people with you. Sometimes you don't need to do it yourself. You can put everyone at ease by standing there. Even if you want to kill those pirates, just let your men do it. Akainu knew that Claude was kind. He was really red eyes before. Now that he calmed down, he definitely passed it. At that time, he was only thinking about eradicating the pirates and gaining more fear points. Do it yourself. But now think about it, even if he doesn't do it himself, he can still get the fear point, and Claude is right, he is now Marine Admiral. If he does everything himself, what will his subordinates think? How should they behave? Have you ever seen the boss of a power who rushed over after seeing an enemy? There is actually another reason why he behaved like this, and that is that he has not adapted to his identity. He is now naval headquarters, admiral under one person and over 10,000 people, but his mentality has not been adjusted, so it will be so. Claude's reminder was just right. Let him discover his own problem. He naturally remembered it in his heart. Okay. Don't say so much, and quickly take my people to repair and rest, and then make some good wine and food to entertain. Waved to Claude, Akainu yelled. These days he has been chasing pirates, even the strongest Iron Man will feel tired. He is naturally no exception, so now he just wants to eat and drink and take a rest. After resting for more than 10 hours, Akainu finally regained all his energy. The continuous action made him, an Iron Man, exhausted. Naturally, the rest of the soldiers didn't need to talk about it, so he didn't go out anymore, but let the soldiers rest for a few days. But this kind of comfortable days did not last long. On the second day, an accident happened. Sakazuki Admiral, something went wrong. Akainu stood on the field of the base watching Dolo and Jonathan train the soldiers, when suddenly Claude's lieutenant ran over. What's the matter? Akainu asked. Claude's lieutenant replied quickly. Claude Vice Admiral asks you to find him immediately, as if something happened to the Ghost Spider Vice Admiral. Akainu's expression changed. The Ghost Spider was one of his most trusted people and his most important confidant. So when he heard that the Ghost Spider had an accident, he was very nervous and quickly went to Claude. What's the matter? Akainu asked as soon as he saw Claude. Claude said with a serious face. Just now, Vice Admiral, the Ghost Spider, sent for help. They encountered a powerful enemy. Huh. Akainu still knows the strength of the Ghost Spider. It is definitely not easy to be called a powerful enemy by the Ghost Spider. Claude placed a wanted order in front of Akainu and said, Katrina Depping, the most dangerous and vicious female pirate in New World apart from Big Mom. This is what the Ghost Spider has encountered. Strong enemy. Akainu picked up the wanted warrant and looked at it, and saw that there was a picture of a very burly woman on the wanted warrant, and when she saw her name, he immediately knew who it was. Isn't this Catalina Depon, one of the captains of the Blackbeard Pirates, the female pirate who escaped from the 6th floor of the Impel Down Eternal Hell? He really doesn't know much about this female pirate, but the prisoner who can be imprisoned on the 6th floor of Impel Down must be a very powerful pirate, and he can also become one of the captains under Blackbeard, which is enough to prove her power. It's just the rest of the information about this woman, which is not explained in the plot. Claude said. This woman is a pirate who has been a fierce name more than 10 years ago. She is very strong when she debuts. In New World, where female pirates are rare, she rises to fame at a very fast speed. She is New World. One of the most terrifying pirates. This can be seen from the wanted order of the world government, which is a bounty of 730 million yuan. In this era, what does the bounty of 730 million Bailey represent? The proper super big pirate. The reason why this woman is so famous is that she is very pervert and very cruel. Coming alone did not create a powerful pirate group, but when the mood was good, it would gather a group of pirates and do evil. And to tell you, I have fought her once, but I didn't catch her or defeat her. Speaking of the back, Claude's face was a little ugly. Obviously he was worried about the woman escaping from his hands. From the intelligence sent back by the Ghost Spider, this woman has gathered several pirate groups and launched an attack on them, causing them to suffer heavy losses. One warship was destroyed, and only one warship was left to the base. Flee in the direction. They are where they are now. Akainu didn't say anything, and asked directly. He knows Ghost Spiders very well. Since they have already sent out such a request for help, it means that they are really in desperation. Claude said. I don't know the exact location, I only know it's in the southeast. Akainu turned around and walked away, saying, I will immediately take people to support. You must gather your troops as a backup, dare to attack our people, huh? Seeing Akainu turn around and leave, Claude tried to stop him, but as soon as he spoke, the people were gone. I'm really worried, I haven't finished it yet. Akainu quickly gathered the troops, allowed hundreds of people under his command to board the warship at the same time, and then set off in the direction that Claude said. At a distance of tens of nautical miles from the Marine G5 branch base, a warship was driving fast. What you can see is that there are traces around the large warship, and you can see that it has experienced fierce shell bombardment. In the distance of 2 or 3 nautical miles behind the warship, several large pirate ships also sailed at high speed, chasing the warship ahead. After the distance was close, they immediately fired their guns. Although they did not hit the warship, they still forced the warship kept changing its direction and its speed slowed down. Vice Admiral, The ghost spider, they are getting closer and closer to us. If they continue like this, they will catch up if they don't get to the base. On the warship, the soldiers in charge of watching rushed over to report to the ghost spider. The ghost spider was in a very bad state at this time. The justice coat on his back had been dyed red, his hands were soaked with blood, and his face was even more pale. Leave them alone. Go ahead at full speed. I have already sent Claude a signal for help. He will be able to rush over soon and tell the brothers to stick to it. Cough. Before he finished speaking, he coughed violently and his face became paler. He clenched his fists tightly together, and felt very regretful in his heart. This time he was really grown up. The 2,000 he led elite soldiers, at this moment, there are only less than 700 people on this warship, that is to say, nearly 1,300 people have been lost. Although they also killed more than twice as many pirates, in his eyes, how could the lives of those pirates be comparable to his carefully selected elite soldiers? I am ashamed of Sakazuki Admiral. He sighed in his heart, and he was full of self-blame. He felt that all of this was his responsibility. If he could foresee the pirates' conspiracy earlier, he would not be surrounded and lose so much. It turned out that the main reason for his miserable defeat this time was that he fell into the trap of the pirates. At that time, he chased a pirate group that had fled from the wild, but who knew that the other party was deliberate and brought them directly into several seas. The encirclement of the band of thieves finally caused them to be made dumplings and defeated in the hands of the pirates. If it were not for the soldiers under his command to desperately cover, and use a warship to smash a gap forcibly, they would probably be wiped out. And the reason why he was injured was mainly because there was a very powerful female pirate among these pirates. He did not recognize it at the beginning, but after the fight, he knew the identity of the female pirate. Under bad circumstances, he naturally couldn't be the opponent of the female pirate, so he was defeated miserably. Boom. A shell hit the flank of the warship, causing the entire warship to shake. The ghost spider's complexion changed drastically. He rushed to the cab and shouted loudly, "Turn the rudder left, hold steady, hold steady." Fortunately, the captain and sailors are veterans. The violent shaking did not make them lose their square inch. They quickly stabilized the warship and continued to move forward, but after such a delay, they were overtaken by the pirate ship for a certain distance. The artillery attack was full of threats. "Vice Admiral, the ghost spider, the pirate is approaching again and will soon overtake us." Under normal circumstances, the speed of a warship is not comparable to that of a pirate ship, but the warship has been subjected to several shocks and explosions, and its speed has been reduced to a certain extent, and it has to avoid the bombardment of the pirates. Naturally, it cannot be comparable to the speed of the Shanghai pirate ship. The ghost spider said solemnly, "Go ahead, keep going, but let everyone be prepared, if they are really caught up." I didn't go on, but everyone knew what he meant. Although everyone didn't want to die, but in such a desperate situation, they could only fight with death, and would never compromise with the pirates. The ghost spider's eyes are glowing, and he doesn't want to die. Akainu has just been promoted to Marine Admiral, and he has just been promoted to Marine Vice Admiral. There is still a great future. Now is the time to make meritorious deeds. If he dies, it will be true. Too wrong. But at this point, he would never leave the others alone and leave alone. He had already killed most of the people, and absolutely couldn't kill more people. Ready to fight. Finally, the pirate ship approached the warship. At this time, it was still 20 to 30 nautical miles away from the G5 branch warship. After the pirates approached, they did not fire anymore. Instead, a total of 5 pirate ships circled around and wanted to besiege the warship. Live. The ghost spider is ready to die. He knows that Claude must have been supporting here, but I am afraid it will be a while before he arrives, and he does not know whether he can hold on to that time, so naturally he will not shrink back. Thoughts, just thinking of leading everyone to fight to the death with the pirates. But just as the pirates surrounded the warship and prepared to attack them, suddenly there was an exclamation from the warship. "Ghost Spider Vice Admiral, look, it's our warship, it's Sakazuki Admiral's warship, it's Sakazuki Admiral." This time when they set off from naval headquarters, there were a total of 5 large warships. Sakazuki assigned 2 ships to him and 2 to Harrington. He left one of the largest and best ships, so it was very easy to identify. The ghost spider, who was already desperate, heard the soldier's exclamation, suddenly got a shock, and then shouted, "Brothers, Sakazuki Admiral has come to save us, cheer up, don't let Sakazuki Admiral see us embarrassed." Look like. There are many soldiers with similar ideas to ghost spiders, and now seeing Sakazuki come to rescue them, they are all excited. "Sakazuki Admiral is here, these damn pirates are dead. We are saved, everyone hold on." Before the warship was full of despair, but at this moment, the entire warship is full of joy and excitement. In their eyes, Akainu is invincible. Although there are many pirates here, they can't stop Akainu Admiral. Marines found the supporting warships, and the pirates naturally found them. On one of the largest pirate ships, several pirate leaders gathered together, a total of 5 people, each being the captain of the 5 pirate ships. It's Marine's warship. Their support is coming. The situation is not good. A pirate carrying a mace tightened. The other was very slender, obviously a man, but he was a pirate dressed up with heavy makeup. He twisted his body and said sharply, "What are you worried about? There are so many of us, and I am afraid that they will not succeed." Humph. As soon as this person opened his mouth, several people around him got goosebumps, but they didn't say anything, just moved a little away from him. An Afro pirate said, "Don't look down on these Marines. I heard that they are this time. Marine Admiral is dispatched. If Marine Admiral is supported, it will be troublesome." Ha ha. When they were talking, a weird sneer suddenly sounded, making the faces of all 5 of them change. At the same time, looking behind them, they saw a 30-something with a slanted forehead and a witch-like nose. With a square chin, a woman with a devilish smile came over. She wore a fuchsia shawl and heavy makeup on her face. She looked terrifying, and she held a spear that was longer than her. The 5 captains of the pirates are all well-known pirates around, but when they saw this demonic woman, they were all full of fear. This time they were able to gather together and defeat Marine because of the existence of this woman. Crescent Moon Hunter, Catalina Depon, a famous pirate in New World, a female pirate who is known for her cruel methods. For this fierce female pirate, New World pirates have all heard of it, but this time they really did not expect that this woman would find them in person. Among the 5 of them, the highest bounty is also with only 90 million Baileys. It is naturally impossible to be the opponent of this woman, so they are all afraid of being beaten by her and forced to unite together. Fortunately, although Catalina Depping intimidated them, he did not seize their power. He just brought them together, and after discussing some things, they all agreed to unite and prepare to start annexing the surrounding pirates. Power. But before he could take any action, Marine appeared. At the beginning, the 5 of them did not want to attack Marine. Although Marine has no crushing power in New World, it is the top power in the world after all. The pirates are still reluctant to confront Marine. It's just that Catalina Depon let them take action on Marine and set a trap, so he defeated Marine led by the Ghost Spider and wanted to swallow them all. "Don't attack them quickly and get rid of them all," Catalina Depping shouted loudly. "Sakazuki Admiral, there is a pirate ship and a warship in front of them. It looks like the Ghost Spider Vice Admiral and the others." On Akainu's warship, they naturally also spotted the pirate ship ahead, and immediately reported to Akainu. Akainu's expression changed, especially when he heard that the warship was surrounded by the pirate ship. She couldn't help but shout, "Go ahead at full speed and fire the cannon directly after entering the attack range, but remember, don't attack the warship." Boom boom boom. The pirate ship and the warship fired at the same time. Before the pirates wanted to catch the ghost spiders alive, but now they see the reinforcements coming. They no longer have this idea, just want to destroy the ghost spiders as soon as possible, and then go to deal with support. Marine. The warship surrounded by the pirate ship has undoubtedly become a living target. Shells hit the warship, and the huge warship only lit up fireworks in a short time. Many Marines died tragically under the gunfire. Damn it. Akainu rushed in with a loud shout, and the gun muzzle of the warship was constantly bombarding the pirate ship. At some distance from the pirate ship, Akainu couldn't help it, and his whole body rose into the air, using the mooncloth to constantly vacate, spanning a distance of several hundred meters. It's Marine 6 Styles, it looks like a great Marine is here. Marine 6 Styles is relatively well known, many pirates have recognized it. Catalina Depping also squinted, staring at Akainu in the air, and squeezed the spear. Falling from the sky, Akainu slammed into a pirate ship. Boom. With Akainu's terrifying power and impact, after landing on the pirate ship, he directly smashed the ship out of a big hole. It's Marine, hurry up and fire. Many pirates around were shaken away, but more pirates looked at the big hole on the ship and yelled. Countless pirates shot at the place where Akainu fell. Boom boom boom. The gunfire continued to sound, and the bullets blasted toward Akainu's position desperately, but the next shocking scene happened. I saw a figure leaping up and landing on the deck, all covered in crimson. Magma, and there is magma falling continuously. Bang bang bang. The bullet hit this figure and passed directly through the body without causing any harm, causing many pirates to exclaim. This Marine is not an ordinary Marine, he is a Logia-capable person. Soon the pirate reacted and shouted. It is the pirates of New World. Although these people are not well-known pirates, they have much more knowledge than the pirates in the first half of the Grand Line and in the Four Seas. Everyone knows what the Logia ability represents. The heads of several pirates on the other pirate ship also changed their faces. Among them, the coquettish male pirate shouted in amazement. The Logia lava fruit ability person. That guy is the new admiral of naval headquarters. Akainu. Fear from Yuzioki. +126. What is Marine Admiral? How could Marine Admiral appear? The other pirate leaders also showed panic. The name of Marine Admiral is really a great deterrent for pirates. Even if Akainu has just become Marine Admiral, it is for those pirates who have a reward of less than 100 million yuan. In terms of it, it is also a big man who can't afford to provoke. Fear score from Lovacitus, +67. Fear from Valantius, +45. From. I know this guy. 2 years ago, he wiped out a lot of pirates in New World. The method was extremely cruel. Basically all the pirates who fell in his hands were strangled. This guy is terrible. There is a pirate. The boss yelled nervously. Why, isn't it just a Marine Admiral? Catalina Depping snorted coldly. She looked at the pirate captains with cold eyes, her eyes full of disdain. A hairy boy, Marine Admiral, how capable can he be? Yes, in her eyes, Akainu is a hairy boy. Akainu has been in her 20s when she became famous. Now, it has only been a few years. Although her reputation has skyrocketed, in her eyes, she is only a junior. In fact, she is not necessarily much older than Akainu, but she debuted earlier than Akainu. This is true. When the 3 legendary pirates were fighting for New World, she was already a relatively famous pirate, and female pirates were relatively rare. Under the circumstances, she was regarded as the most outstanding one, coupled with the cruel methods, was jealous by many people. Because the method was too cruel and ruthless, she formed a pirate group several times but ended in failure, so she became a loner. This time, the 5 pirate groups gathered her completely because of Big Mom is stimulating. She is also a well-known female pirate in New World. She is naturally familiar with the big name of Big Mom. This time the other party wants to become one of the 4 emperors, which really stimulates her. She thinks that the other party can, and she can do the same. That's why these pirate groups will be subdued and ready to develop their forces. This time she chose to attack Marine because she wanted to be famous. Now the major forces in New World are saturated, so if you want to expand your power, you have to think about other ways. All she wants is to attack Marine. If it can hit Marine severely, she will naturally become famous in the pirate world, and it will be more convenient for her to develop her influence at that time. But what she didn't expect was that it was just 2 warships, an army led by Marine Vice Admiral, which would be so difficult to deal with. They chased for so long without annihilation. They were originally planned to be captured and tortured. But now that reinforcements are coming, she naturally no longer has this idea, just thinking about destroying them all. Leave that guy to me. You have to deal with the rest of Marine. You must get rid of them all. At this time, the warship and the pirate ship are very close, and it is impossible to continue firing. Otherwise they may blow up their own people, so they are all close to the warship, preparing to board the warship to kill the Marines. The 5 pirate captains glanced at each other. Although they were all brought together by Catalina Depping temporarily, there was no loyalty to this woman at all, and it was not their will to fight against Marine. They are now provoked. With Marine Admiral, they are all frightened, unconsciously wanting to back down. It's just that they also know very well that if they back down at this time, Catalina Deppon will not let them go without talking about Marine, so they communicate with each other with their eyes and don't work hard. This is currently the best choice. After Catalina Depping and Akainu decide the outcome, they will make the final decision. Although Catalina Depping is strong and cruel, it is of course impossible to know the communication of the 5 pirate captains. She held a spear and headed towards the pirate ship where Akainu was. Although the Ghost Spider and others were in a bad situation, they naturally saw the arrival of Akainu. The Ghost Spider immediately shouted, "Brothers, Sakazuki Admiral is here. When we counterattack, all the staff obey the order and kill." As soon as the pirates saw Akainu coming, their morale greatly increased. After sweeping away the previous decadence, the pirates followed the Ghost Spider with high morale to kill the pirate. It was Sakazuki Admiral who came, and Sakazuki Admiral came to rescue us. Kill all these pirates, kill all these bastards, and avenge the dead brothers. Charge. It's time for us to fight back, kill them all, kill them all. The depression of being chased by the pirates broke out in an instant. The Marines' eyes were red, and they abandoned the warship and followed the pirates to fight. Some school officers rushed to the other party's pirate ship to fight. "You all deserve to die." A furious shout came from Akainu's mouth. He didn't pay attention to the system prompts in his mind. He just looked at the pirates on the pirate ship coldly, and then an astonishing haki erupted from him, within a range of tens of meters. The pirates inside all fell with Byakugan, and 2 pirate ships were within haki's impact range. I saw that with Akainu as the center, not only did the pirate fall, but it also caused an astonishing impact. The ship's board was shattered every inch, and many of the dizzy pirates vomited blood. The worst were the pirates who were close to him. They withstood the greatest impact, and their entire body was torn to pieces in an instant, causing a rain of blood, and the momentum was extremely shocking. The pirates who resisted haki's dizziness, but could not withstand the force of the impact, retreated again and again. On the pirate ship where Akainu was located, 90% of the pirates on it were stunned by haki, and 2 or 3 were stunned by haki. Kill. There are many individuals who have no bones left. This shocking scene shocked all the pirates, and one of the 5 pirate captains even screamed sternly. What? That was his ship, and that was his men. It was just killed by Akainu in an instant, with most of the casualties. This made him not excited, but at the same time, he was more shocked. From this time there was a huge amount of fear directly, and seeing him release Haki's pirates, they were all terrified. Is this the power of Marine Admiral? Even the coquettish captain who had been active before, was trembling all over at this moment. It was too shocking and terrifying. He grew up so much. When he has seen such a terrifying person, he didn't do anything. He killed a ship of pirates in seconds. Fortunately, it wasn't his ship, otherwise he was the one who screamed now, and he looked at the pirate captain who screamed with pity. Rao is a big pirate like Katarina Depping, and his heart is shaken when he sees this scene. This is Conqueror's haki. No, Conqueror's haki can indeed stun people, but it is impossible to create such a big momentum and kill so many people in an instant, right? Staring at Akainu stubbornly, Katalina Depping frowned, and she couldn't help feeling the tremendous pressure in her heart. Want to run? Seeing the pirate running away, Akainu gave a cold snort and shook his fist suddenly. The lava fist flew directly over a distance of more than 10 meters and hit several pirates in a straight line. The terrifying lava quickly swallowed the life of the pirate. Uttered a scream. Don't even think about running. Akainu started to kill and moved quickly on the ship. Except for the pirates who jumped into the sea to escape, all the other pirates were solved by him. The magma had burned the entire ship. Puff. A spear passed through Akainu's body, pierced his heart from behind, and exposed from his chest. What? A whisper came from behind Akainu. Akainu didn't turn around, but he gave a cold snort and said, if you were faster, you might have succeeded by now. Although he is chasing and killing the rest of the pirates, it does not mean that he is unprepared. The observation haki he obtained through the system is not a mascot. He is always prepared for the enemy's sneak attack. No matter how fast the attacker is, the response was timely. He stretched out his hand to grab the spear that penetrated his chest, and was about to apply force, but the opponent suddenly turned and broke free of his control, quickly pulled it back, and got away from his body. Akainu turned around, looked at the burly woman who appeared in front of him, and said, Are you Katarina Depping? Ha ha. Catalina Depping let out her special laugh, and asked, You are Marine's new admiral. It's so funny, Marine can't find anyone, so I asked you, a little-known guy, to be admiral? Akainu said coldly, I am an unfamiliar fellow, enough to deal with pirates like you. Speaking of fame, Akainu is actually not bad. Catalina Deppon just made her debut as a pirate, and the original body belongs to the kind of person who joined Marine early, but did not quickly become famous. In fact, all these years what he did was not worse than Catalina Deppon. At the very least, he became admiral. Compared to Fujitora and Green Bull who were later recruited from the whole world, they were much more upright. These two were only exceptionally promoted to admiral because of their strong strength. It's really arrogant, like you, Marine. I don't know how many killed, but I have not killed Marine Admiral of Logia ability person, it must be very interesting. Catalina Depping revealed a grinning smile. Akainu said coldly, Although I am angrily wanting to cut you 1,000 times, I will not kill you this time. Sometimes death is not the most painful punishment. I want you to live forever and ever, in fear. At the beginning, he really wanted to kill this woman, but he thought that so many of his men had been killed by this woman. It would be too cheap for her to kill her, so he changed his mind. Boy. Let me see how capable you are. Catalina Depping held a spear in both hands and shook it vigorously. The spear shot out like a dragon. The spear turned into a long snake and stabbed at Akainu fiercely. Knowing that the woman in front of him was the culprit, so he did not care about other people, because his warship has arrived, reinforcements have arrived, so many people are enough to deal with these pirates, as long as he catches this woman, everything else all solved easily. A pirate ship has become a battlefield for Akainu and Catalina Depping, and the two leaned on the pirate ship and quickly collided and fought each other. Puff puff. The spear pierced Akainu's body continuously, but it couldn't hurt half of Akainu's hair. The power she was proud of couldn't do all of this, which really made him a little unacceptable. Unexpectedly, even if he uses armament haki, he will not be able to hurt this Akainu. His ability to Logia Devil Fruit has actually been used to such a level of proficiency. Although it is impossible to admit it, Catalina Depping has recognized Akainu's strength in her heart. She has also encountered many powerful opponents in New World over the years. There are also Logia-capable people, but she has not yet met Logia Devil Fruit uses it, as well as Akainu in front of me. Armament haki restrains Logia abilities. This is a well-known thing, but she has used armament hockey with all her strength, but she still can't hurt Akainu. This shows two problems, that is, Akainu's armed color is stronger than her, and her ability is also better. She is stronger. Dark Hound. Once stabbed again, Akainu forcibly grabbed the spear, and then used the Dark Hound, which had been accumulated for a long time, at a tricky angle. A hit was made by Catalina Depping, even though the opponent protected her with armament hockey. The body was still smashed into the air, and the whole person fell into the sea. Akainu saw that Catalina Depping was beaten into the sea, and did not relax. The fight just now let him know how powerful this female pirate is. She can become a famous big pirate in New World. She is really strong. They hit too. It took so long before he found a chance to hit the opponent, but he didn't think that this move would be able to defeat the opponent. Akainu knows that Catalina Depping will not be defeated so easily, but those pirates don't know that the several pirate leaders who have been suppressed by Akainu's power have been hiding behind, paying attention to Akainu and Carter. Lina Deppon's battle. For Akainu and Katarina Depping, they have no good feelings. Marine is a deadly opponent, but Katarina Depping also wants to turn them into subordinates. They are used to being the boss. Who wants to be someone else's younger brother? So they are the most. What I hope to see is that the two lose out, and then they sit back and reap the benefits of the fishermen. Unexpectedly, Akainu suddenly smashed Catalina Depping into the bottom of the sea. All of them were shocked. Several people looked at each other and made a decisive decision. Withdraw. Retreat, retreat. The pirates who were fighting with the Marines did not hesitate to hear the words of their captain. The power that Akainu just burst out scared the pirates of the other ships to death. Coupled with the support from the Marines behind, Shang could not have the advantage, so when he heard his boss had to retreat, they all gave up entanglement with their opponents and launched the pirate ship to start the retreat. Don't let them go, brothers, kill them. After being chased and killed by the pirates for a long time, he finally slowed down. How could he let the pirates escape? Under the leadership of several Rear Admiral and Commodore, they jumped into the Shanghai pirate boats to fight. Don't even want to run. Akainu, who was still on guard, saw that the pirates were preparing to escape, and his face suddenly became cold. He leapt and jumped onto another pirate ship, which happened to be the leader of the pirates. Pirate ship. The fear value kept rising, but it didn't affect Akainu's half point. He killed all the pirates in front of him, getting stronger and stronger, and went straight to the captains of the pirates. No, he is coming towards us. The captains of the pirate captains were shocked and shocked. The power that Akainu burst out just now made them fully aware that they and others could not be opponents, so facing Akainu, apart from fear, they had only one thought left: to escape. These pirates are nothing more than the improvisations of Catalina Depping. She can subdue so many people by herself. It is conceivable that these are not powerful characters. Now Katarina Depping is not here, and Akainu's the power was almost crushed, and the 5 pirate leaders were blocked by him before he could escape. You all deserve to die. Akainu coldly looked at these pirate leaders and the pirates gathered around them. With his observation hockey, he could naturally discover the movements of these people and infer their identities. And when he was using hockey just now, he obviously felt that there were not many Marines remaining on the warship. Needless to think about it, the rest of the soldiers had already died in battle, so his anger became more and more intense. No, it's none of our business. Yes, that woman forced us. The fascinating captain of the pirate was the first to resist Akainu's might and screamed in horror. Fear score from Yuzioki. +356. Suddenly received a lot of people's fear value, but there was still a pirate captain shouted. What are you afraid of? This guy obviously doesn't want to let us go. Begging for mercy is useless. Fight with him. Hearing a loud shout from him, the faces of the horrified pirates changed. Akainu's sullen appearance is indeed unlikely to let them go, so their only chance to fight with Akainu now is to fight with Akainu. No matter how powerful Akainu is, there is only one person, but there are so many pirates on this pirate ship, and it is not impossible to fight. That's right, I really didn't think about letting you go. The cold light in Akainu's eyes turned into magma, and he rushed to kill them, enveloping them with a huge lava fist. What? With a lava fist within a few meters, many pirates had no time to scream, and the rest of them were hiding quickly so that they were not affected by the magma. Go to hell. The furious pirates all picked up their familiar weapons and slashed at Akainu, but their attack that even hockey didn't even hurt him by half a point. Within a few minutes, 6 to 7% of the 200 to 300 pirates on this pirate ship were strangled by Akainu alone, and 2 of the 5 pirate captains died. They were just pirates with a bounty of tens of millions. Couldn't catch a few punches from him at all. As for those who didn't die, either they jumped off the boat in fear, or they were lucky and didn't get hit. Surrender, I surrender, surrender. Even the pirates of New World are not all capable. Of the 3 remaining captains of the pirates, 2 of them knelt down and surrendered to Akainu. Puff. Akainu walked towards him slowly, and the dripping magma burned the hull of the ship. The pirate ship was riddled with holes in his magma, burning everywhere, and it would sink soon. Go down. Go to hell. As soon as Akainu walked in front of the two kneeling captains of pirates, one of them suddenly shouted savagely, grabbed the weapon next to him, and stabbed Akainu directly through his body. You monster. But how could he hurt the elemental Akainu? After a desperate cry, Akainu broke his neck and finally gave him 561 fear points. Spare me, spare me, spare me. Another pirate captain watched this scene in horror, and continued to provide fear values, but how could Akainu really be merciful and kill him again? Just when he was about to kill the last person, the pirate ship was suddenly split from the middle by a huge force, and then a sharp crescent-shaped light hit Akainu from below. Laugh. Akainu's right arm was cut with a wound of tens of centimeters, and blood was splashed, but he didn't care at all, grabbing the spear that was about to retract with his backhand, and the other arm suddenly erupted with magma. The dog bites Gurren. The speed of this assault technique was extremely fast. It was too late for Catalina Depping to give up the spear at this time. The dog-shaped magma hit her from top to bottom. Boom. The pirate ship finally couldn't stand the strength of the two and became torn apart, while Akainu used the impact of magma to rush to the sky, and then continuously used moonwalk to land on one of the shipboards. I want to see how long you can last underwater. Ignoring the wound on his right arm, Akainu wrapped it up casually, and then looked down at the bottom of the sea. Fighting on the sea is indeed a limitation for the capable person. At least he cannot enter the sea to fight like other people. Catalina Depping takes advantage of this. It's just that she has just been injured by herself. He doesn't believe how long this woman can stay on the bottom of the sea. I have to say that the strength of this woman is indeed very strong. It is ranked among the top of all the opponents they have encountered so far. It can be compared with the current Kuzan, especially her shooting speed, which is even more fierce and rapid. Being able to stab him can prove it. But although he was stabbed, Catalina Depping's injuries were even more serious. Even armament hockey could not stop him even if he was hit by a dog biting Gurren. It is very likely that he was already seriously injured. Because several pirate captains have been beheaded by him, and his people have arrived, now the situation is completely reversed. It is Marine chasing the pirates and the pirates fleeing in the pirate boat tragically. This is the case in Pirate World. Personal combat power is superior to the army. A top powerhouse is sometimes more important than hundreds or thousands of people. Just like now, the ghost spiders have been beaten to desperation, but Akainu is one. Man reversed the situation, not only killed the 5 pirate captains, but also forced Catalina Depping into hiding. Turning things around with one's own power is the current situation. No matter how strong a person is, if there is no special strength, it is absolutely impossible to hold his breath for too long at the bottom of the sea. Akainu observation hockey opened fully, but still did not feel Daipeng's breath. Until a few minutes later, the observation soldier on the warship shouted to him, Sakazuki Admiral, that woman is behind you. Akainu looked back and found that Daipeng was indeed a few hundred meters behind him. He immediately understood that the woman wanted to escape, so he snorted coldly, grabbed a ship's plank, and threw it in that direction, and then quickly rushed over with moonwalk. Damn it. Daipeng saw Akainu chasing him, and uttered angrily. Akainu's strength exceeded her imagination. She had exhausted her best, but she still could not defeat Akainu. Instead, she was injured by Akainu, although the injury was not very serious. But her rich combat experience told her that if she continues to fight like this, she must be the one who loses in the end. So he just thought about it, and then immediately chose to leave, but he didn't expect Akainu to chase it so hard. After only a moment of hesitation, Daipeng made a decision immediately. No matter how fast she swims in the sea, she will never be able to get past a warship, so she can only choose to continue fighting with Akainu. The two fought together again. As a capable person, Akainu was naturally unable to fight in the sea, so he used the broken ship plank to move with moonwalk, while Daipeng used his own advantage, and even fought hard for a while. Compared with the battle between Akainu and Daipeng, the battle between Marine and the pirates ended first. Since Akainu killed the captains of the pirates, these pirates have no backbone, and naturally they cannot be Marines. Opponents, except for a few pirates who fled in a pirate boat, the rest of the pirates died, and the ones caught were arrested. Now there is only the battle between Akainu and Daipeng, but the Marines did not come forward to help, but let Akainu and Daipeng fight. They are full of confidence in eating all, and Akainu will definitely win in the end. In the end, Akainu did not live up to everyone's expectations of him. It took nearly 20 minutes to finally capture Catalina Depping and escort her to the warship. Sakazuki Admiral, are you okay? Seeing Akainu's injuries, all Marines asked nervously. Akainu said, I'm fine, let someone use seastone shackles to handcuff this woman, and never let him break free. This battle can be described as the most difficult battle since he came to this world. It is not that Catalina Depping is the strongest enemy he has encountered. It is really that this battle is different from the past. Fighting at sea, the strength was naturally weakened a bit. If he were to sit on the land, he would definitely be able to defeat Dai Peng faster. These scars on his body are also left by Dai Peng. Although his armament haki is very strong, it does not mean that armament haki is invincible. Armament haki is only a kind of external force enhancement. He will still get injured, not to mention that this time his opponent is also Grandmaster Armament Haki. He can win with these injuries, it is already considered good. Where is Vice Admiral the Ghost Spider? Akainu asked. Vice Admiral, the Ghost Spider, was seriously injured and is being treated by medical soldiers. The person who answered him was Jonathan Commodore. Akainu's face tightened. As his most trusted confidant, the safety of the Ghost Spider is directly related to his system. If the private army is not led by the Ghost Spider, the combat effectiveness will definitely decline, and the Ghost Spider's power distribution and contact with him it is also extremely important, and there must be no accidents. He hurriedly found the Ghost Spider, and he was relieved when he saw the Ghost Spider sitting there for treatment. Ghost Spider, how is the injury? The Ghost Spider's face was pale, but after seeing Akainu, he still wanted to stand up. In the end, Akainu let him sit down, and he didn't continue to insist. My injury is not important, Sakazuki. This time it is my responsibility. I am sorry for you. In the end, there are only 2,000 people left. All of this is my responsibility. As he talked, the Ghost Spider actually became choked. It is hard to imagine that a hawkish and tough man like him would be sad in this way, full of guilt and pain on his face. Looking at the Ghost Spider, Akainu patted him on the shoulder and comforted him. Ghost Spider, this time is not entirely your responsibility. You should not take all the responsibility on yourself. We can recruit again if people are gone. The most important thing is that you are fine, and we also avenged the dead soldiers. Despite Akainu's consolation, the Ghost Spider still has a painful face. This time the incident has dealt a great blow to him. He has never received such a heavy blow. Since following Akainu, they have not suffered such a fiasco. He knew that most of it was his responsibility this time, and he was eager to make a wrong judgment. If he was a little more careful then, he would definitely not become the way he is now. He knows why he is like this. The smooth wind has made him a little arrogant, and he used to have Akainu in front of him. But this time he led the team alone, he was the leader of the team, and this time he suffered a crushing defeat. It left a deep impression. In such a short period of time, he has done countless reflections. He feels that he is good enough, but in fact it is not the case. His ability to lead the team alone has not been tested, let alone not as good as Akainu, even if it is. He couldn't compare to the other Harrington, and this made his pride suddenly defeated. But after all, he was a soldier who had experienced many battles. After realizing his shortcomings, he knew what to do. Sakazuki, it is my responsibility this time. It is my misjudgment and my lack of experience, so I want to ask you to let me practice and learn from Harrington Vice Admiral. Akainu didn't hesitate, nodded and agreed. Okay, in the next time, you will merge with Harrington Vice Admiral and learn by his side. Regarding the experience of leading soldiers, he must admit that he is definitely not as good as Harrington, and he will not suffer a fiasco like a Ghost Spider because of his personal strength. If the Ghost Spider has his strength, this time it will not be chased and beaten by a pirate, but chased and beaten by a pirate. The Ghost Spider followed him, and he couldn't learn the amazingness of leading soldiers. On the contrary, he could learn more by following a veteran like Harrington. Therefore, this decision of the Ghost Spider made him very pleased. Although he felt that personal strength in this world is more important, the ability to lead soldiers is equally important. He may not need Grandmaster himself, but his confidant must do this. As his most trusted confidant, Ghost Spiders can it is extremely correct to have this kind of consciousness. Seeing the summary after the war, Akainu's face became gloomy. In this battle, coupled with the previous battles with Ghost Spiders and theirs, finally lost more than 1,500 people. At the beginning, he brought 5,000 people from naval headquarters. In such a short period of time, there have been nearly 1/3 losses, which is extremely heavy. Sure enough, you can't underestimate these guys in New World. It was just a Catalina Depping, plus a few improvised pirate regiments, which caused them to lose so badly. If you encounter those large pirate regiments, or 4 Emperor's level pirate regiments, I can't imagine it. This is equivalent to a wake-up call for Akainu. The pirates of New World must not be underestimated. They are much more difficult to deal with than he thought. Perhaps the only one who is more fortunate is that after coming to New World this time, although it is not long, he has gained a lot of fear points. Killing may not be the only way to gain fear points, but it is definitely the most fear point. The fast and easiest way. 62,879 points of fear value. This is his remaining fear value. although it is not comparable to the previous hundreds of thousands of fear value, but it is also a very large amount of fear value. Akainu exchanged observation hockey's hockey fruit immediately. After he took the observation hockey fruit, a system prompt sounded suddenly. Ding. The new product is on the shelves, please check it out. After Akainu got this reminder, his face suddenly became surprised. Just after buying a hockey fruit, a new product appeared. The rules of this system are really unpredictable. You never know when there will be new products, and I don't know what kind of rules it follows. He clicked on the store again, but found that the store has undergone a lot of changes. The store is divided into 3 parts. The hockey fruit occupies 1 row, the only ginseng fruit occupies 1 row, and the other row is the new product. Skill book. What appeared in the shop turned out to be a golden book-like product, and there were still 3 products, very similar to the legendary skill book. He selected 3 products one by one, and found that they were really skill books as he thought, and strangely, these 3 skill books actually matched his fruit abilities very well. Burning River Rock, Wagwo Mountain and Burning River Great Eruption. Not only the name of the skill book, but also the origins are introduced. It is actually lava-style ninjutsu from the Hokage world, but it has been modified and does not require chakra to use it. It can be turned into a lava fruit ability. Use it directly. Really a powerful system. Seeing that even ninjutsu in other worlds can become a skill book for learning, Akainu really has nothing to say, and can only lament the power of this system that does not know how to bind him. Unlike the hockey fruit, which is worth 1,000 fears, the price of skill books is much higher. Burning River Rock Skill Book. The price is 20,000 fear points. Wagwoshin Skill Book. The price is 50,000 fear points. The Burning River Great Eruption Skill Book. The price is 80,000 fear points. The price of skill books is scary, and one is higher than one price, but the advantage is that as long as you buy a skill book, you can directly master the moves in the skill book after learning. He now only has more than 60,000 fear points. Just used 1,000 points, only 61,000 points are left. He can only buy 1 Wagwoshin skill book at most. He has seen Hokage Ninja, so he knows this attack. The powerful skills, especially with his lava fruit, are absolutely amazing. The same is true for the other 2 moves, but one has a fear value of 20,000 and the other has a fear value of 80,000. The former is not as strong as Wagwoshin's move, and the other cannot be bought by him. Originally, he was going to use these fear points to buy hockey fruit again. After all, hockey fruit can now provide him with indirect combat power, but if compared, the moves in the skill book are definitely improved, so he hesitates now. But this hesitation did not last long. He still chose to purchase the Wagwoshin skill book with 50,000 fear points. He wanted to see how the new skill book appeared in this system. After choosing Wagwoshin's skill book, Akainu confirmed the purchase, and a golden skill book appeared in his package. After he took it out and opened it, the skill book suddenly turned into a golden light and rushed into his head. This change was so fast that he did not react at all, and the skill book had disappeared. The golden light also shot him in the head, but it did not cause any injuries, but disappeared. But in the next moment, something suddenly appeared in his mind, and then he felt that he had mastered what he used to be the move of Wagwoshin that he had just purchased. The process of how to use it was completely imprinted in his mind, as if it were his own ability as average. He was very shaken in his heart. The gift of this skill book made him feel more than eating hockey fruit. When eating hockey fruit, he had a feeling of slowly growing, but this skill tree made him master move in an instant. And there is no discomfort. While shaking in his heart, he can only sigh the mystery and power of the system. He was still at sea, and naturally couldn't test the power of this trick, so he could only hold back his curiosity. After spending 50,000 fear points to purchase the skill book, he still has more than 11,000 fear points left. He did not buy hockey fruits anymore, but chose the lottery. He used to think that the things drawn in the lottery were of little use. But as the number of lottery draws increases, more and more new items appear. He believes that as long as the number of draws is constantly increased, something better will definitely appear. 100-point lottery, 100-point lottery, draw. Akainu completely ignored the system's prompts and kept smoking. He drew donuts, senbei, burst charms and loyalty cards, etc. But after he drew all the fear points, he did not show what he expected. New items. This time he drew a total of 2 donuts, 1 senbei, 3 loyalty cards, 2 burst charms, 2 double fear cards, and 3 clean cards. The percentage of draws is still not very high. He was very disappointed. Once again, I ran out of fear points. Although the gains were not big this time, I got a new move after all. According to the introduction in the memory in his mind, this move is very powerful, and the fear points can be earned again, so he besides because there is no good thing in the lottery, it is not a pity for spending so much fear. The warship quickly carried the soldiers back to the G5 branch base. In the middle of the journey, they met Claude, who had come to support, and then separated a warship to the previous battlefield to search for the remains of the sacrificed soldiers. How much could they be recovered? Just get back how much. This battle can be said to be the first time Akainu's troops have suffered such a fiasco, so after returning to Marine Base, everyone's morale has become a bit low. Even Akainu can't help it. After all, the defeat is a fact and everyone needs some time to accept it, but also some time to get out of the shadows. Harrington Vice Admiral quickly brought people back to the base. After Akainu told him the situation of the ghost spider, Harrington immediately agreed. Although he was a little surprised by the ghost spider's fiasco, he also felt that it is reasonable. New World is not the first half of the Grand Line, and the pirates here are not comparable to those in the first half. He has been in New World for so many years, and he will end up in that situation. Ghost spiders have not been in New World for a long time. It is normal for people to suffer defeat. In terms of strength, the ghost spiders are actually not worse than the pirates. The reason for the miserable defeat is that they lack experience and underestimate the other party. After all, they have always been victorious when fighting the pirates with Akainu before, even if they met the Whitebeard pirates. It can't be regarded as a defeat, so when dealing with these little-known pirates, they will naturally look down on them in their hearts. Because of this happening, Akainu did not continue to go out to conquer the pirates for the next period of time. Instead, he stayed at the base and retrained the soldiers. This time the fiasco was for everyone. It is a wake-up call, especially for soldiers from the headquarters. It is true that you can get credit for coming to New World, but it also takes your life to win. Catalina Depping, who was caught, was taken to Impel Down in the first half of the Grand Line a few days later. Akainu did not intend to kill her. After reporting to the headquarters, Sengoku immediately ordered Catalina to be taken. Dai Peng escorted back to naval headquarters. In this regard, Akainu did not violate this. In the past few days, he has used a lot of methods on Dai Peng's body, and he has not been merciful because the other party is a woman. But what surprised him was that he did not torture this woman. Give him a little bit of fear, as if there is no fear at all. It was a pity that he sent someone to escort Catalina Deppon back to naval headquarters, and then was sent to Impel Down. In Impel Down, he believed that Catalina Deppon would be miserable too. As for whether it is possible to escape in the future, who knows? The renovation of Marine took more than 10 days, and in these 10 days, the layout of New World has also undergone earth-shaking changes, and the war is slowly coming to an end. The first to stabilize the situation is the Big Mom Pirates. It must be said that this is the first time that the Charlotte family has shown their fangs and toughness in New World. The power that the entire family has exploded has made New World's pirates fearful and challenged. Their pirate group was defeated by them one by one, and no one dared to challenge them anymore, and the position of the four emperors was initially stable. The Beast's pirates on the other side is also in this situation. Kaido continues to defeat his opponents with his invincible momentum. Now there are not many people who dare to continue to challenge him, and his position is relatively stable. The current situation is that as long as there is no major accident, both Charlotte Linlin and Kaido can become the new pirate kings and rank among the four emperors. In this way, the throne of the four emperors will only be left. The last one, the pirates of New World, will definitely be even crazier by that time. Faced with this situation, Akainu can only sit and watch, unable to make any changes. Akainu, who had nothing to do these days, used all the dozens of loyalty cards in his hand. After using 2 of the ghost spiders, an accident occurred because the system gave a prompt that the ghost spiders had reached the upper limit of loyalty. That is, the degree of impossible betrayal, so the loyalty card is no longer effective. Although he doesn't know what the loyalty ceiling really means, since the system can evaluate a person's loyalty as impossible to betray, this really surprised him, and he doesn't know what the system is based on. Then he used 4 loyalty cards against Lucas, which also reached the upper limit. Speaking of which, he used a total of 7 loyalty cards on Lucas. According to the system, Lucas was initially loyal. The degree is not as high as a ghost spider. Then he used the loyalty card against Harrington, but to his surprise, he failed to use it. You must know that Harrington is now a member of his private army, but the loyalty card failed to use, which shows that Ha Lington did not regard himself as his subordinate, so he did not have the loyalty of his subordinate to the Lord. But this result only made Akainu a little regretful, not too disappointed. After all, Harrington was also a veteran. He couldn't stay in this position for long. He recruited Harrington, more to watch. In the face of Kong, and Harrington is a veteran with rich experience, bringing some of his private army at this time can also help a lot. He used his loyalty card on a few people he was optimistic about, and they all used it successfully. The generals in his private army, except for Harrington, were loyal to him, which made him very gratified. In fact, in his opinion, the biggest role of the loyalty card is not to improve the loyalty of his subordinates. Although the systematic evaluation is there, as a human being, He always feels that the human heart is the least possible to control, and it is possible anytime, anywhere. Changes. Therefore, he thinks that the biggest function of the loyalty card is to distinguish whether his people are loyal to him, and to distinguish between the enemy and ourselves. The loyalty card is definitely an artifact. Sakazuki, after resting for so many days, I should be a little irritable. I have good news for you today. Claudexing hurriedly came to Akainu's side and said to him. Akainu raised his head and asked, is there any good news for New World now? Claude laughed and said, don't be so pessimistic, the good news is naturally there. You may not believe it. Kaido, the beast who has not completely secured the position of the four emperors, went to the Whitebeard pirates alone and went to the Whitebeard pirates. There was a fight. What? Hearing this, Akainu's eyes really widened in surprise. What the hell is this, Kaido? At this time, he couldn't stabilize his position and ran to fight with Whitebeard. Is this a trick to death? Claude smiled and said, is it incredible? But this thing is true. Didn't you always let me send someone to stare at the Whitebeard pirates? That's why we discovered this for the first time. Kaido does. It's time to challenge Whitebeard, and was defeated by Whitebeard as a captive. The beast's pirates who have received the news have gathered and are ready to claim someone from the Whitebeard pirates. The battle of the New World Four Emperors is about to start. Stunned. Really stunned. Akainu was completely stunned by Kaido's operation, and almost hit 666. Kaido, what is he thinking? Akainu was stunned for a long time before asking. Claude laughed and said, Sakazuki, you haven't been in New World for a long time. You may not know Kaido. Actually, I am not surprised that he did something like this. I told you before. The guy is a lunatic, no one can stop him when he is mad, and he can do whatever he thinks of. This time I am going to challenge Whitebeard. I am afraid it is also a temporary motive. However, although Kaido lost to Whitebeard, it was not so easy for Whitebeard to kill him. The creature that claims to be unkillable. I think that in the end this matter was ended by Whitebeard letting Kaido go. Akainu nodded and said, Whitebeard won't want to go to war. Claude said, yeah, Whitebeard will not be able to fight. To be precise, it is impossible to fight. There has been such a thing before. Whitebeard must know Kaido's personality, so he should not go crazy with him. Akainu said, the pirate leaders of New World are all weird characters, but Kaido went to trouble with the Whitebeard pirates. Whether or not they fight in the end, it is good news for us. Claude said, I may also somewhat understand why Marshal Sengoku and the people of the world government let these pirates compete for the position of four emperors. In their eyes, the appearance of four powerful pirates is obviously better than the appearance of a new one. The One Piece is even better. The appearance of four emperors makes those pirates only know that they are fighting for the position of four emperors, and they ignore the One Piece. Akainu also agrees with this. Although the existence of four emperors is terrible, it is obviously far worse than the emergence of a new One Piece. The world government allows the existence of four emperors, but will never allow the existence of One Piece. Roger was able to become the king of One Piece. Actually, he also had a lot of luck. It is harder to get a new One Piece now than Roger. In the next 2 decades, there has not been a king of One Piece. Even if four emperors are close to the king of One Piece, that's just getting closer, and the possibility of wanting to take that step is not very great. Even the later Straw Hat Luffy is still far from One Piece. There is another news that you should be interested in. We have discovered a strong pirate group, Claude said. Akainu did not ask any pirate group, but directly asked, tell me the location. Claude said, speaking of which, this matter has something to do with Kaido. Someone took aim at the position of his pirate emperor, gathered a large number of people, and prepared to take the opportunity to attack Beast's pirates. It is not only Marine that can detect Kaido, other pirate forces must also know about it, so there will be people who want to take advantage of the fire. Claude said, it is the pirate group led by Gecko Moria. There are thousands of pirates, and the strength should not be underestimated. It turned out to be him. Akainu was surprised when he heard the words. Gecko Moria is certainly no stranger to him. One of the Shichibukai in the anime has become a stepping stone for Luffy's rise. His strength is not very strong, it can only be said to be average. But this is only the situation in his memory. In fact, in the New World today, Moria can really be regarded as a powerful force. It is rare for Moria to gather thousands of pirates and put them in New World. It was when he was full of spirits that neither confidence nor courage could be compared in more than 10 years, and his own strength could be called the peak moment. Is he really going to find Kaido? Claude said. Looking at the direction of his action, it should not be wrong. Akainu sneered and said, this guy is really ambitious, but with his ability, wanting to become four emperors is just wishful thinking. Regardless of the current Moria's strength, but looking at his decadence after losing to Kaido, you know that this person has limited achievements. Kaido also wiped out all his subordinates in the anime, became a lonely man, escaped from New World, and saved it. killed his own life. Then you were going to take him to the knife? If you can kill him, it would be a good victory for us Marine, Claude said. Akainu said. Then what are you waiting for? Let me know immediately, and be ready to act. After repairing for so long, it's time to move. Under Akainu's order, the Marine soldiers immediately moved. Once the Marine organization was activated, the speed was astonishing. It took only an hour to gather together. The mighty 5,000 troops and 6 warships were dispatched at the same time. The surrounding caused a great sensation. The 5,000 people dispatched this time, in addition to the more than 3,000 people brought by Akainu himself, there are more than 1,000 people from the branch, and a total of 5,000 people are still led by Akainu, and Claude stays at the base and sits behind the town. The fleet of 5,000 people and 6 warships is very shocking. Basically no forces dare to provoke them along the way. They purposefully moved towards the direction of Gecko Moria and their pirate group. In the northern waters of New World, a huge group of pirate ships is sailing on the sea. There are more than a dozen pirate ships in great vigor. Looking at the pirate flag on the ship, it is the same pirate group, and this pirate group it is the more famous pirate group in New World, led by the super rookie pirate a few years ago, Gecko Moria. Captain Moria, we will be able to reach the Beast's pirate site in 2 days, and then we will be able to fight the Beast Kaido and seize his position of 4 emperors. On the largest pirate ship, the pirates laughed and laughed. Hee 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 hee. A unique sound of laughter sounded, and a dull stepping sound came from the shipboard. I saw a very tall, very weird-looking monster laughing there like a demon. He was the leader of this pirate group. Gecko Moria. That idiot Kaido actually went to challenge the monster Whitebeard. It's really looking for death, but it's better this way. He will give me the position of the pirate emperor. Hee 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 hee. As an ambitious and powerful big pirate, Moria's ultimate goal is naturally the legendary One Piece, but now that the One Piece is difficult to achieve, his goal is to temporarily become the 4 emperors. When Big Mom and Kaido announced that they became one of the 4 emperors, he did not act, because he knew that his strength would not necessarily be the opponents of these 2, so he has been waiting for these 2 to be taken by the rest. The pirate force consumes power. However, he did not expect that the 2 men would become stronger and stronger, and the 4 emperors' throne became more and more stable. He finally couldn't sit still, and at this time Kaido challenged Whitebeard's defeat. He decisively chose to attack. The target is the Beast's pirates' territory. Want to take this opportunity to defeat Beast's pirates. Fear score from Nico Robin. +215. Akainu was resting on the warship and suddenly received a prompt from the system. After seeing this prompt, his expression was a little surprised. It was months before the Ohara incident. Unexpectedly, Robin still feared him that much. You must know that after leaving Ohara, Robin will provide him with fear points from time to time for the next half a month. It has been a long time since her fear points have appeared. I did not expect that there will be a large number of them at this time. The fear value. It is very likely that Robin had a bad life, thinking of him, so she was afraid, or it could be because he became Marine Admiral and passed to West Blue for so long, so she heard her name, and then she was afraid again. NS. At the beginning, he used the double fear card for Robin, so every time the fear value appeared, it was a considerable number, like the current 215 points, and after double it is 430 points. People like Robin who are timid but want to live are the ones who can best provide him with fear points. If they're like Catalina Depon, no matter how hard he is tortured, they will not be afraid. He really is about to collapse. Sakazuki. I just sent someone to the surrounding islands to find out. The pirates in Moria you were looking for. They passed by here a few hours ago to supply supplies. They must not be too far away from us. Harrington found Akainu, said. Akainu nodded in satisfaction. In order to catch up with Gecko Moria, he used the fastest speed, but after more than a day, he has not caught up. This made him a little impatient, so he asked Harrington to send someone to inquire about the news. See if they are in the wrong direction. After all, the seas of New World are so messy, even if there are eternal pointers, they may not get lost. Speed up and catch up. These guys are really good enough to run. They haven't caught up after chasing for so long. Akainu directly issued the order, and the warship immediately sailed at the fastest speed. After driving for about a long time, Lucas suddenly came to Akainu in a hurry and said, Sakazuki Admiral, there is a pirate in front of him. Pirate. Akainu's expression was amazed. Their fleet of several warships, what pirates are so courageous, actually appeared in front of them, so he asked again, is it here to find us? Lucas replied, no, I just observed that several pirate ships are fighting with each other. One of the pirate ships, looking at the pirate flag, seems to be a pirate group under the Whitebeard pirate group. How could the pirate group under Whitebeard appear here? Akainu is even more strange. New World is so big, Whitebeard only occupies a small part of the territory. Like these pirates, most of them are guarding their own turf, and they rarely run around, unless they are against their own pirate group. The strength is very confident, not afraid of encountering strong enemies. Go. Go see what's going on. He is now chasing Gecko Moria's large pirate group. If it is an ordinary little pirate, he is really not interested, but the pirate group he encountered is related to Whitebeard, which made him interested. When they arrived on the deck, the Ghost Spider and others also gathered from other warships. What's the matter? Akainu asked. The Ghost Spider replied, it's the Molo pirates under the Whitebeard pirates, and the other two pirates seem to be besieging someone. Oh? 3 pirate groups besieged a person, who is it? Akainu took the binoculars and looked over. So it's him. Marine's binoculars are still available, and his eyesight is amazing, and he quickly sees what's going on. It is indeed a pirate under the Whitebeard pirate group. The people they are besieging happen to be he knows, Sand Fruit ability. One of the future Shichibukai, Sand Fruit capable person, Crocodile. New World newcomer, Sand Fruit capable person, Crocodile. This is a somewhat famous super newcomer. At this time, as a veteran of New World, Harrington also recognized Crocodile. Although he retreated to the second line before, after coming to New World, he carefully studied the structure of New World. Crocodile only debuted last year. The newcomer, as soon as he debuted, he became famous in New World for his ability of Logia Devil Fruit, and he is one of the super newcomers of this year. At this time, Crocodile was just making his debut. Relying on the rare Logia ability, he quickly gained fame in the sea, but he has not done any evil things yet, so the world government and Marine have not yet issued a reward for him. Akainu knew that there was an intersection between Crocodile and Whitebeard in the plot, and the hand that was broken was because of Whitebeard, but now Crocodile has just debuted and has not yet met Whitebeard, so naturally it is still in high spirits. This time alone the 3 pirate groups under Whitebeard did not lose quickly. Crocodile, you have been running away for so long, so it's better to catch it with your hands. With our father's cherishment and your Logia ability, if you join us, you might still be able to become one of the captains on the father's ship. The captain of the Molo pirates is named Carl Anthony Alex, one of the 20 large pirates under the Whitebeard pirates. Today's Whitebeard pirate group has not reached its later heights. There are not more than 40 large pirate groups under its umbrella, only 20 large pirate groups. As for the other 2 pirate groups, they are also under the command of Whitebeard, but they are not strong enough, so they are not ranked among the 20 large group of pirates, and there are many pirate groups like them under Whitebeard's command. Carl Anthony Alex himself, as the captain of one of the 20 pirate regiments under Whitebeard, will not be weak in his own strength. He has a bounty of 195 million Baileys. Among them, they are all in the top ranks. The reason why he would fight Crocodile was because Crocodile committed a crime in Whitebeard's turf after his debut, and he happened to see him, so he led the pirate group to pursue Crocodile. This chase has been going on for more than 10 days. It turned out that he thought he was just a young boy who just made his debut. Even if he was called a super rookie, he wouldn't be much stronger, but he didn't expect Crocodile to be Logia. He didn't have a master armament hockey yet, so he couldn't win Crocodile, so he pursued it for so long. In this pursuit, he saw the strength and abilities of Crocodile, and saw that Crocodile is definitely a young man with unlimited potential, so he no longer wanted to eradicate Crocodile as before, but wanted to recruit him into the Whitebeard Pirates group. Logia's capable people have never been seen in the Whitebeard Pirates. If they can surrender, they have a great chance to become the captain of the Whitebeard Pirates. The Whitebeard Pirates is not the scale of the anime 2 decades later. Now they do not have 16 captains. As long as they are members of the Whitebeard Pirates and are strong enough, they are eligible to become the captains. Carl's idea is also very simple. Add new power to the Whitebeard Pirates. A super newcomer like Crocodile will definitely make a difference in the future. As long as you join the Whitebeard Pirates, you must be a captain in the future. He recommends a captain. Grade level characters are definitely a great credit. But his idea is good. Crocodile himself has no such idea at all. Every super newcomer who just debuts has a heart to be a One Piece, and Crocodile is a proud and arrogant person. How could it be possible? It is simply impossible for him to be willing to subdue 2 others. Let him work against Whitebeard, and let him join the Whitebeard Pirates. Facing Carl's invitation, Crocodile arrogantly replied, "Let me join the Whitebeard Pirates? It's a dream. I think we should let Whitebeard give me his position." There is no kid with the same hair, so he dared to covet the position of the old man, and he doesn't weigh his own weight. Hearing Crocodile's clamor, Carl was not angry, but he snorted disdainfully. As the old pirates of New World for more than 10 years, he still knows the thoughts of these newly debuted pirates. These people think they are heaven. The chosen son cannot recognize the reality, and has to take a bit of a blow to know how big the world is. Whitebeard's lackey, you deserve to catch me too. Crocodile was originally an arrogant person, and when faced with people who looked down on him, he would look down on them even more. Court death. The coldness in Carl's eyes was overwhelming. Crocodile called him indifferent, but he dared to look down on Whitebeard. This was what he couldn't bear. In the alliance of the Whitebeard pirates, Whitebeard had the highest prestige, and no one could insult. Speaking of it, the Whitebeard pirate group and the pirate group under its command can gather together completely because of Whitebeard, who possesses a unique charm. Except for a handful of people, the rest of them basically respect him from the bottom of their hearts. Worship him, admire him. Whitebeard is the god in their hearts, and no one is allowed to insult. Therefore, Crocodile completely angered the pirates present, just when they were ready to take action against Crocodile. Captain Carl, the marine fleet is found behind. A pirate suddenly yelled in a hurry, stopping everyone who was planning to do it. Marine's fleet. Marine, as the largest military force in the sea, naturally has its own rules. If a large fleet is dispatched, it must hung its own banner to deter Xiao Xiao. Since the person Carl cares about can be described as a fleet, it means that the number of Marines is definitely not small, so he has no time to take care of Crocodile, and directly turned and looked behind. And on Crocodile's ship, a group of pirates are also gathered together. As a newly emerged pirate group, their insight is naturally much worse than that of the Molo pirates, but the pirate from the Molo pirates just now they all heard the cry of Captain Crocodile, there is a marine fleet. Let's withdraw quickly. Even though the Marine of New World is not strong enough, for most pirates, they are still reluctant to offend Marine. After all, not everyone has the guts to fight naval headquarters. Crocodile ignored the words of the pirates, but also looked in the direction of the Marine fleet. As a new generation in the pirate world, he naturally has his own arrogance. If he runs away when he meets Marine, he will talk about what he will become. One Piece. Those pirates found us and they don't do anything anymore. The actions of the pirates naturally fell in the eyes of Akainu and others. Several warships rushed to several pirate ships. These people were pirates under Whitebeard's command, so Akainu was not going to let them go. The last Crocodile, who stirred up the wind and the rain, is also a good thing to annihilate them in one fell swoop at this time. And compared to Gecko Moria, Crocodile's future achievements are even higher than him, plus the well-known pirate group under the Whitebeard pirate group, destroying them is also a great achievement. Although he is now Marine Admiral, he has no promotion except Marshal Marine, but of course the more credit the better. The more credit you have, the greater your prestige in naval headquarters, and you can get it. More people agree, so of course Akainu will not let this opportunity pass. No, there are 6 large warships. At this time, Carl of the Molo Pirates also saw the appearance of several marine warships. Originally, he was planning to see it. If the marine fleet is not strong, he can wipe out Marine's prestige, but now it is enough. There are 6 large warships. This is definitely the existence of Marine Vice Admiral level, and there are more than them. They will definitely not be opponents. Retreat, retreat immediately. It was the old pirate who had been in New World for many years. After finding that something was wrong, he immediately ordered to retreat, without hesitation, even ignoring the previous Crocodile. The 3 pirate ships quickly launched, trying to escape the pursuit of warships. Boss, the Molo pirates have escaped, let's run quickly. When the pirates under Crocodile saw that even the Molo pirates had escaped, they dared to stay wherever they were. There were so many warships that their pirate ship could not fight against. Although Crocodile is arrogant, he is not an idiot. He still knows what level he is now. He was not sure that he could have played the previous Carl. Now people run away without saying a word, and he will only stay. Court death. Retreat, we retreat in the other direction. Crocodile knew very well that if he flees in the same direction as the Molo pirates, it would be a dead end, so he flees in the opposite direction. In his opinion, the Molo pirates have 3 pirates, Marine definitely will chase them, not chase yourself. Sakazuki Admiral, Moro pirates and other 3 pirates and Crocodile escaped separately. Akainu snorted and said, Ghost Spider, you lead a warship to chase Crocodile. He is a Logia-capable person. It is the best to capture it alive. If you can't capture it alive, please bring his body to see me. Although Crocodile is a Logia-capable person, after all, he has just debuted and his level is limited, and the Ghost Spider is also very strong. It has already been able to use armament hockey proficiently to deal with Crocodile. It is not a big problem. Yes. The Ghost Spider immediately returned to his warship, separated from Akainu and the others, and chased Crocodile in the direction where they fled. Captain Carl, Marine is chasing us, getting closer and closer. Carl Anthony Alex, the captain of the Molo Pirates, had a very ugly face. He was really depressed. He was only here to chase a rookie pirate. How could he be so lucky that he met the Marine fleet, and after the other party discovered them, they were still chasing after them? Which lunatic is it? Is it the crazy guy, Hunting Knife, Claude? He secretly guessed in his heart, knowing that the combined strength of the 3 pirate groups is not weak, but Marine is still chasing, and he must be confident that he can take them, Otherwise, he will only chase for a while. Don't worry about it anymore. This is something that often happens in New World. Not all Marines, like Akainu and others, have a deep feeling for the pirates and must be killed. Today's New World is the world of pirates. The most capable Marine Vice Admiral in Marine is the Marine Vice Admiral Claude of the G5 branch. Claude is also considered famous in New World and is the target of many pirates, but because of this, after 2 years of pirates flooding in vigorously, this Claude, known as the hunting knife, has rarely shot. He is now leaning against Whitebeard, the strongest pirate. He thinks that Claude should know this, so he shouldn't be hunted down like this. After all, their strength itself is not weak, and there is a backing like Whitebeard, even if it's Graham. Lord, he should be very jealous, right? The 6 large warships, although I don't know who led them, but Carl is cautious by nature and is unwilling to fight. Accelerate. Let the brothers drive at the fastest speed. If you really can't get away, go to those dangerous seas. At the same time, let people contact the surrounding brothers and pirate groups to see who can get support. As an experienced pirate, he has to consider various situations. It is best if there is support. If not, he can only go to those dangerous areas. There are many dangerous sea areas in New World. He doesn't want to trust Marine. In order to chase them, he would take such a big risk. His thoughts are good, but the person he encountered this time was Akainu. Now that he found them, how could Akainu let the prey escape from his palms? Under his command, the 5 warships quickly dispersed and surrounded them. The momentum is advancing rapidly, bringing the advantage of speed to ultimate. After escaping for a while, Carl's face became more and more ugly, and he was still a long way away from the dangerous seas he knew, but Marine was getting closer and closer. After a while, they would enter the attack range of the warship. He has already contacted a lot of people with phone bugs, but because of signal and other reasons, he has contacted 2 pirate groups that belong to Whitebeard, but the problem is that these 2 pirate groups must be at least away from him. 3 or 4 hours of the journey, and it is still under the condition that he does not change the course, so in a short period of time, it is impossible for him to have support. 20 minutes later, the warship was very close. The distance between the 2 sides was less than 2 nautical miles, and gradually entered the range of the cannon. Carl had ordered his men to load the cannonballs. As soon as Marine approached, they would fire the cannon immediately. But what puzzled him was that the warship entered the attack range and did not fire the cannon immediately. When he was puzzled, the warship behind actually heard a sound. Listen to the pirate ahead. This is Marine Admiral Akainu's fleet. Stop the ship and surrender immediately. You can spare your life. Otherwise, we will immediately carry out an indiscriminate attack. The pirate ahead will listen. The other party apparently used a loudspeaker phone worm to scream, passing through the wind, so Carl clearly heard the other party's words. Marine Admiral Akainu, bad. His face suddenly became ugly to the extreme. He didn't expect that the person who was chasing them was the new Admiral Akainu of Naval Headquarters. This was a much more terrifying person than Claude, even their dad did. He was amazed. He also heard that Akainu had come to New World, but he didn't expect to be met by himself. He is not bad, but many of the pirates under his command, as well as the pirates on the other 2 boats, showed horror. As the saying goes, the name of the person, the shadow of the tree. When Akainu was Marine Vice Admiral, not many people cared about it, but after he became Marine Admiral, the name of Admiral alone was enough to scare countless pirates. What's more, New World has recently been rumored about Akainu's deeds. It is a very fierce Marine, so ordinary pirates will naturally feel fear. From Waleed. Akainu on the warship saw the prompt from the system, and the corner of his mouth suddenly smiled. He naturally came up with the method of threatening with a loudspeaker phone bug. He is in urgent need of fear now, so he must find a way to use his own name. The number frightens the pirates. The more powerful pirates may not make good profits, but for ordinary pirates, his name can definitely make them fearful. The fact is just as he thought. After a few shouts, his fear value increased by more than 1,000 points, and it is still growing continuously. However, although the 3 pirate groups in front heard the shouts, instead of stopping, they continued to advance. Attack. After a short while, Akainu's eyes turned cold, looking at the pirates in front of him, and ordered. Harrington nodded immediately, and then ordered his men. The warships on the 2 wings first used artillery to force them to slow down, and the remaining warships attacked the mainsail and mast of the pirate ship, causing them to lose direction control. As a veteran, Harrington has sufficient experience. Even a warship like theirs cannot fire unlimited artillery. The stock of artillery shells is limited, so the pirate ship is forced to slow down and lose direction with limited artillery shells. Then approach the attack. This is the best choice. When Harrington commanded the battle, Akainu was also watching. He actually didn't have much experience in sea warfare. According to his idea, he would use artillery shells to attack. After approaching, he defeated the opponent with his own powerful offensive power. Few were so budget conscious as Harrington. In fact, It cannot be said that Akainu's method is wrong, because his attack is very strong and can often directly defeat the opponent, so there is no need to do too much calculation to crush the opponent with powerful force. Just like Whitebeard, his shock fruit is powerful, and sometimes a punch can solve the problem. Why do you have to use a more troublesome attack method? Harrington used to lead the army alone, developed a habit, and achieved the best results with the most labor-saving method. Even if there is an existence like Akainu that is several times stronger than a cannon, he never thought of letting Akainu use his personal power. To solve the battle, he will let the coach dispatch unless he encounters an overwhelming enemy. Boss Carl, you take people away first, we will cover for you. The 5 warships fired at the same time, which forced the speed of the 3 pirate ships to drop rapidly. In particular, many shells hit the hull and caused many casualties. Although the pirates also fired back artillery, the warships there were 5 ships, and the 3 pirate ships couldn't handle it. Only a few shells touched the warship, and none of the other shells hit. A few minutes later, one of the pirate ships was hit by a cannonball on the mainsail. The captain of the pirate ship, who was also on the pirate ship, immediately shouted to Carl and told him to go quickly. He stayed for cover, and then another pirate. The captain of the regiment also made this choice. The 2 pirate regiments stopped the pirate ship, and instead of running away, they rushed towards the warship, trying to cover Carl. Carl of the Molo pirates saw this scene. His liver and guts burst suddenly, and he wailed in anger, but he still forcibly resisted the grief in his heart and shouted, "Quick sailing." He is not a fool, knowing that if everyone continues to escape together, none of them will be able to escape. The other 2 captains also know this, so they chose to sacrifice themselves and cover him to escape. If he chooses to stay, he will betray them. Expectation, so he endured grief and left with the fastest speed. He didn't have to think about it. He didn't need to think about it. When the 2 pirate groups who stayed behind to cover up, when they encountered someone like Akainu, they must have lived or not. They had been friends for many years. He couldn't let his brother die in vain, so he wanted to escape and return. In the Whitebeard Pirates group, only the members of the Whitebeard Pirates group can deal with Akainu. It is said that the pirates are ruthless and unrighteous. I didn't expect to see different pirates today, who sacrificed themselves to cover their companions to escape. The pirate group under Whitebeard is really extraordinary. Seeing the choices of the Moro pirates and the other 2 pirates, Akainu couldn't help but be amazed. In the world of pirates, there are very few people who can do this. At least since his debut, he has encountered the pirates have never had this kind of awareness, and most of them are selfish people. Harrington on the side said, "If you want to say which pirate group is the most united in New World, the Whitebeard pirate group can definitely rank first. Even if it is an enemy, it has to admit the personality of Whitebeard. I have never seen anyone who joins the Whitebeard pirate group who has defected. I didn't expect his group to be like this, and the pirate group under his command can be so united. Whitebeard is indeed an amazing person." Akainu sighed, and then said, "But because of this, it's even more terrifying. It is not a good thing for us to have so many subordinates who have left their lives to work for him." The unity of the Whitebeard pirate group, he did not know less than Harrington. During the Battle of the Top, many pirates knew that they might go forever, but they still responded to Whitebeard's call and went to naval headquarters. I'm afraid it's difficult to do this if someone else does. Moreover, the Whitebeard pirate group has existed for so many years, and it seems that only Blackbeard has defected. The probability of this is almost negligible. But looking at the pirate ship coming, Akainu said with a cold look, "Although the spirit is commendable, it is still too stupid. Do you think this can stop us?" Bump it. Several warships stopped firing and ran into the pirate ship. Boom. These warships are all large warships, which are not comparable to the 2 pirate ships. Under the collision, the 2 pirate ships were smashed and almost fell apart. Although during the collision, 2 warships were hit several times by the pirate ship's shells and withstood the impact, but the damage was not serious. It only slightly injured the hull and did not affect the driving. "Step aside," Akainu shouted. Several warships dispersed at the same time. Then he stood on the bow. His right hand turned into magma and clenched. His whole body suddenly jumped, facing the direction of the 2 pirate ships, and blasted his fists. Great eruption. The great eruption he fully used was absolutely amazing, comparable to a giant's giant lava fist, like a volcanic eruption, rushing to 2 pirate ships. Magma, it's Marine Admiral Akainu, everyone, run away. When Akainu jumped up, the pirates on the pirate ship had already spotted him. After he used the huge lava fist, many pirates screamed in horror, and the fear in their hearts erupted. Boom. Just like a string, after the huge lava punch hit the first pirate ship, it passed through unstoppably, and hit another pirate ship. Then the lava punch burst and broke, and countless volcanic bombs appeared. Pirates on board. The 2 pirate ships were bombarded from the middle. The terrifying temperature of the magma directly burned the pirate ship. In just one blow, countless pirates were killed. Those volcanic bombs fell on the pirate ship. Make the destroyed pirate ship even more tragic. Ignoring the prompt to obtain the fear value, Akainu fell back on the warship after a blow, looked at the burning pirate ship, turned around and left. Leave a warship and clean up here. I don't want a pirate to escape. Yes. The soldiers on several warships were stunned by the amazing power of Akainu, especially the Marines of the G5 branch. They were all stunned. It was the first time they saw Akainu's ability, and there was only one in their hearts. The concept is horrible. Harrington ordered one of the warships to stay, and then looked at the pirate ship with only its limbs and scraps left, and shook his head with emotion. Tisk tisk. I have always heard that Sakazuki is very strong. Now it seems that it is not only very strong. There are not many people in the world that can do this kind of destructive power with a single blow. Lava fruits. The offensive power is really terrifying. I am afraid it is stronger than the other two Logia, Kuzan and Paluzolino. He is also a veteran who has experienced many battles. He hasn't seen anyone in these years, and hasn't seen any ability, but he has not seen much destructive power and attack power like Akainu and Lava fruit. After leaving one warship, the remaining 4 warships continued to chase in the direction where the Molo pirates fled. After Carl chose to escape, he didn't think about anything else, he just wanted to leave quickly, but what made him incredible is that after half an hour passed, Marine's warship actually chased him up again. He said in disbelief. How is it possible? Are they already? He didn't dare to continue thinking about it. Since Marine has caught up again, it means that the other 2 pirate groups are very difficult and they are over, but the strength of the 2 pirate groups is not very weak, and it will not be defeated so easily. Yes, but when he saw that only 4 warships were overtaken, he understood what was going on. Can't you escape? 4 warships surrounded the pirate ships. The pirate ships had become completely wounded and could not continue to travel. On the contrary, the 4 warships did not cause any serious problems. Even if shells fell on the warships before, they were given by several generals. Prevent. Carl looked at the warship that surrounded them. At this time, he had given up his intention to continue to escape, because he knew that it was impossible to escape. Even if he was in a desperate situation, he did not have the slightest fear and tension. As early as the day he became a pirate, he was ready to meet this day, so he was not afraid, nor nervous, he was just a pity for so many brothers. Looking back at the injured brothers on the ship, and the brothers who turned into corpses, even the body is no longer intact, he is very sad. These are brothers who have followed him for many years, he has not recruited new people for several years, so now the 500 brothers left here are the only remaining brothers of their pirate group. It now seems that all of them are going to fall here this time. This is a crushing battle. Even though Carl Anthony Alex is a big pirate with a bounty of more than 100 million, he will soon fall under the siege of a rear admiral under Akainu and several commodores, lost and captured. This time Akainu didn't make a move, just watched from the sidelines, waiting for them to bring the pirate to him. After the battle, the pirate group of several hundred people, only a few dozen people remained alive. All of them were escorted by soldiers to the warship where Akainu was. Sitting on the chair, Akainu looked at the dozens of pirates who were escorted in front of him, his eyes rested on Carl Anthony Alex, who was leaned by the sea stone. Harrington introduced to him next to him, Sakazuki, he is the captain of the Moro pirates, Carl Anthony Alex, who is offering a bounty of 195 million in the 20 pirates of Whitebeard, as also the top captain. The bounty of nearly 200 million, among the pirates Akainu encountered, is considered to be relatively high. He looked at the pirate. Carl Anthony Alex, don't you know why I keep you? Pooh. Carl spit at Akainu, and then he was punched by Dolo Commodore and bent over. Dolo shouted, if you dare to talk to Sakazuki Admiral like this, it's not as simple as a punch. But Carl looked at him disdainfully, straightened up again, looked at Akainu mockingly, and said coldly, if you want to kill, you have to pluck it, you can listen to it, but you want to know the old man's information from my mouth, don't dreaming. Akainu said, it's a pirate with a bounty of nearly 200 million. I haven't said anything yet, but I guessed what I wanted to know. Carl hummed. Marine Admiral, Akainu, huh. First think Marine is no one, and you were actually an admiral, but you are the defeat of the father. He didn't kill you at the beginning, so if you are lucky, you still want to find daddy revenge, in the next life. Although Akainu and Whitebeard didn't really fight each other, at best they just took a move, but in the eyes of all the pirates of the Whitebeard group, Akainu is the defeat of Whitebeard. Akainu didn't argue with him either, winked at Dolo, went to the back and asked a pirate to come to Carl. Akainu didn't say anything nonsense, and said directly, tell me where the headquarters of the Whitebeard pirates is, how many people there are in the Whitebeard pirates, and the distribution of the power of the pirates under Whitebeard. As the strongest pirate group in New World, if they can master their intelligence, it is definitely a very important victory. Dreaming. Carl exclaimed. Dolo took a look at Akainu, then shot the pirate directly, splashing blood on Carl's face. Self. Carl's pupils shrank and he screamed in pain, struggling to pass, but he was held down by 2 Marine colonels. Akainu said faintly, "This is just the beginning. Next, every time I ask, as long as you don't answer, one of your subordinates will be killed. Well, you have 82 subordinates. In other words, I still can ask 82 times. Asshole. Akainu, come at me if you have the ability." Carl yelled at Akainu irrationally. Waved his hand, another pirate was pulled in front of Carl. "Captain." The pirate called to Carl with trembling, making Carl tremble and speechless. Akainu opened his mouth and said, "Can you tell me?" "You are delusional." Carl gritted his teeth even though his face was extremely angry. Pity. Boom. The pirate was killed again, and Carl trembled again. He was not afraid of what Akainu would do to him, but Akainu killed his subordinates in front of him, and he could not speak. This was a desperate suffering. "I have to say, you are really hard-hearted. Both subordinates died in front of you. You can be indifferent. You can bear it once or twice, but more than 80 times. I wonder if you can bear it," Akainu said quietly. Carl roared, "Akainu, kill me if there is a kind of thing, don't do such despicable things." Akainu said, "To deal with a despicable pirate, you have to use despicable means. When you pirates do evil things, why don't you think about despicableness? Now you tell me despicable, do you have the qualifications? People like you really discredit Marine Admiral, Akainu, I despise you," Carl contemptuously said. Akainu sneered. A pirate still had the face to look down on him. He let Dolo continue without thinking. Another pirate was pulled over. Carl's eyes burst into flames, but he didn't take Akainu way. Fear score from Carl Anthony Alex, +157, +12. When Carl was caught in front of Akainu before, there was no fear at all, even if he killed his subordinates, there was no fear at all, but at this moment, he was really scared. He was not afraid of death, but he saw his subordinates. He died in front of him, and he was really terrified. In addition to Carl, the rest of the pirates also continued to provide fear points to Akainu, especially after the death of 2 people. The fear value increased a lot, much more than Carl's fear value. "Say it." Akainu asked again. Dream. Boom. "Say or not." Akainu, you must die. Boom. Say or not, in just a few minutes, more than a dozen corpses have fallen in front of Carl. At this time, Carl no longer needs others to hold him. He collapsed on the ground, staring at the front in a daze, but even so, he also didn't tell the information that Akainu wanted to know. Fear score from Carl Anthony Alex, +294, 128, +35, +41. I admire people with spine, but I don't like people who have become captives like you, who are so spine. Akainu looked seriously at Carl Anthony Alex, who seemed to be depressed, shook his head, and continued. "There are still more than 60 people. I wonder if you can carry on. You are even suicidal now. Can't do it." Facing Akainu's ridicule, Carl did not react at all. At this moment, someone among the pirates suddenly shouted, "Captain Carl, we are not afraid of death, and we don't have to be afraid of them. We can't tell them the information of his father. Brothers are not afraid of death, are they?" After this person's voice fell, there was a sudden silence on the warship, and after about a few seconds, the rest of the pirates joined in one after another. "Yes, we are not afraid of death, we from the Molo Pirates group have no spoils. Captain Carl, don't tell them, Dad is so kind to us, we can't betray him. The big deal is death. Dad will definitely avenge us. Yes, Dad will avenge us." Carl, who was already desperate and lost, couldn't hear the answer, his whole body trembled, his eyes gradually regained his spirit, turning his head to look at his subordinates, and seeing how excited they were, a strange emotion rose in his heart, so that he has an urge to cry. Seeing the excited group of pirates, Akainu frowned. He could see that these pirates were not holding on, because the fear value from them was rapidly decreasing, and only a few people were able to provide him with fear value. Carl suddenly looked up at Akainu, and said with full anger, "Akainu, see, none of us is afraid of death, even if you kill us all, don't even want to get the slightest information. I really underestimated you." Akainu was slightly surprised. Originally, he gathered these people together just to force them with tremendous pressure and make them mentally collapsed, but he didn't expect these pirates to have this backbone, which made his plan fall through. Standing up from the chair, after scanning the group of pirates in front of him, he said, "Clean up the corpse, and all the others will be imprisoned." After speaking, he turned and left. The matter was over, and it was useless to continue to interrogate. If something could not be done, he gave up. Anyway, he was not prepared to get much Whitebeard's information, so that he could accept the result. And killed so many people today, he is not interested in continuing to kill, and plans to hand these people over to Claude. Naturally, no one would violate his order. Soon soldiers detained all of their pirates, and then began to clean the bloodline and corpses on the deck. We destroyed the 3 pirate groups under Whitebeard in this way. After Whitebeard gets the news, I'm afraid I won't let it go. Harrington followed Akainu and whispered to him. Akainu paused, and said, Whitebeard won't let go. So what? Looking at Akainu's back, Harrington sighed slightly. He has been with Akainu for so long, and he has a deep understanding of the new young admiral. He has no idea what awe is and does whatever he wants. Whitebeard can't be so messy. When there was only the Whitebeard pirate group, it was already difficult to deal with. Now Whitebeard is the leader of the 4 emperors. The forces under his command are all over the New World. The thieves are countless. Marine's strength in New World is not very strong. It's not a wise choice to provoke Whitebeard at this time. Akainu, the army led by Marine Admiral Gecko Moria, didn't find it. First destroy the Moro pirates. How will Whitebeard react? After returning to the room, Akainu also pondered alone. He also knew that it was inappropriate to confront Whitebeard at this time. However, when the Molo pirates were sent to the front, he could not eat. As for the consequences, he was not afraid of it. If it was because of Whitebeard's for him to let go of those pirates' words as the most irresponsible thing for him. The course was changed because of the pursuit of the Moro pirates, so after the matter was resolved, Akainu had to change the course again and head towards Kaido's site. He knew Moria must be heading in that direction too. This time they were not fast, and they were walking while waiting for the other 2 warships. One day after they came, the Ghost Spider's warship caught up with them again, but he did not bring good news. Sakazuki Admiral, I'm sorry, I let Crocodile escape. After the Ghost Spider saw Akainu, his face was immediately full of guilt. He led so many people to chase a rookie pirate. He actually failed. He was very ashamed. At the same time, he was very depressed. After entering New World this time, it's not going well everywhere. First, he was ambushed by the pirates and suffered heavy losses. Now he can't even catch the newcomer pirates. He feels too embarrassed. Oh. Let Crocodile escape. Hearing what the Ghost Spider said, Akainu was really surprised. He still knew how many caddies the Ghost Spider weighs. Even if Crocodile is a Logia-capable person, after all, it hasn't been a long time since his debut, so his strength should not be considered very strong. Ghost. It shouldn't be a problem for the spider to defeat him, but he didn't expect the Ghost Spider to let him escape. The Ghost Spider said helplessly, I didn't expect that guy would be so unrelenting. He directly abandoned all his subordinates and landed on an island. After I caught up with him, I had a fight with him, but he used his ability to escape. After chasing for a while, no trace was found, so I had to give up. It's a pity for Akainu. Crocodile will be one of Shichibukai in the future. The potential is not bad. Let him escape this time. It won't be easy to catch him next time. It's a pity that he didn't care too much. He was just a Shichibukai level figure, and he had the opportunity to talk about it later. After I go back, I will report to the headquarters and ask them to issue a reward. The pirates of the Logia abilities still have to pay a certain amount of attention. Akainu gave an order to the Ghost Spider, and then said, the top priority now is to find Gecko Moria. After so long delay, I don't know where he went. He was also quite emotional. He didn't expect that Moria would meet Crocodile before coming out this time. These 2 are future Shichibukai. Crocodile is lucky. After meeting them, he will be able to escape, but I don't know. Does Moria have any such luck? 3 days later, something that surprised Akainu happened. The Gecko Moria they were pursuing had actually fought Beast's pirates, and it was the Beast Kaido who personally defeated Gecko Moria and wiped out their entire pirate group. In the end, only Gecko Moria run away alone. What you said is true. After Akainu heard the news, he was also surprised. Was it so coincidental that they chased them for several days, but when they were about to catch up, Gecko Moria was actually destroyed? Ghost Spider and Harrington were also helpless. Harrington said, the news has spread slowly, because we are relatively close, so we received the news soon. Just the day before yesterday, Gecko Moria and Kaido ran into each other, and Kaido alone destroyed half of the pirate group. Later, other people from Beast's pirates also arrived and wiped out Moria. In the end, only Moria escaped. Able to escape from Kaido's hands, this Gecko Moria can be considered a little capable. Ghost Spider continued. Akainu frowned. Gecko Moria was his chosen target. He had been tracking it for a few days, but Kaido gave it to him. Although this is the case in the comics, he is still very upset. Didn't Kaido lose to Whitebeard? Why did you come back so soon? Claude said before that Kaido is going to challenge Whitebeard for defeat and capture, and Beast's pirates is ready to go to rescue. The 2 Imperial pirate groups are about to fight. This is just like yesterday. How can Kaido come back so soon? And also destroyed Gecko Moria with the momentum of thunder. Harrington said, no one can tell what's going on. Maybe only Whitebeard and Kaido can know it. but how quickly Kaido can come back is probably because the two sides have reached a consensus. But Gecko Moria is also unlucky. I originally wanted to seize this opportunity to kill Beast's pirates and ascend to the position of 4 emperors, but I didn't expect to fail in the end. The forces under his command were uprooted, leaving only a lonely family. It is really pitiful. Since Moria has disappeared, it means that they have no target this time, and they came out with great momentum, and they have to go back without doing anything. Everyone is very depressed. If there is anything to gain, it is that this time the 3 pirate regiments under Whitebeard's command have been destroyed, and many pirates have also been captured, but in the eyes of many people, this is not worthwhile. Fortunately, although they destroyed 3 pirate groups, the problem is that they offended the most powerful pirate group in New World, the Whitebeard pirate group. Akainu said, "Since Gecko Moria is finished, don't worry about him anymore and go back to the base." This time he came out and neither of the 2 future Shichibukai caught them, so he was rather disappointed. It took another few days to return to the base. After that, Akainu stayed at the base and did not go out. Instead, Harrington and the Ghost Spider continued to lead Marine to clear the pirates around a certain sea area of New World. Here is one of the New World 4 Emperors, one of the base camps of the Whitebeard pirate group. At this time the Whitebeard pirate group is staying here. Father, that's what happened. By the time we arrived, Captain Carl and the others had been defeated by Marine. The bodies of the brothers of the Molo pirates and the other 2 pirates were everywhere. This is a small island. Whitebeard and the pirates gathered together, listening to a pirate wearing a pirate captain's hat telling them that this pirate was the person Carl contacted when he asked for help. By the time he led the people over, the Molo pirates had already been defeated. We've already inquired about it. It was Admiral Akainu of Naval Headquarters who did it. Marine Admiral, is that the Magma Imp? Whitebeard had been listening very calmly, and when he heard that the person who started the attack was Akainu, his face suddenly became very ugly. Father, we want to avenge Carl and the others. We can't let them just die in Akainu's hands. Whitebeard did not speak, but the rest of the pirates shouted angrily. Since Whitebeard secured the position of the 4 emperors, no one dared to do anything with the members of the Whitebeard pirates, but they did not expect the newly appointed Marine Admiral dare to kill their people. Because Akainu did not release the news, Whitebeard and others did not know that Carl and others were not dead, but were captured. After everyone clamored for a while, they saw that Whitebeard didn't speak, and they gradually calmed down. They all knew Whitebeard better, and knew that Whitebeard's mood would definitely not be better than them at this time. After a while, Whitebeard finally spoke. He said, "Although the kid Carl has only joined us for less than 2 years, he is definitely a loyal and kind kid. Marine dare to do something to him and he can't forgive him." Upon hearing Whitebeard's words, the pirates all screamed again, and they believed that Whitebeard would not let them down. Father, this matter is of great importance. Even if you want to avenge Carl, you need to discuss a good countermeasure. As Whitebeard's current leader, Marco can also be said to be a royal deputy. Most of the time, he advises Whitebeard and is the second person in the Whitebeard pirate group. Everyone is going to leave first. The rest of the pirates all left one after another, preparing for a fight. Only a few captains stayed. When Whitebeard saw Marco let others leave, he knew he had something to say, so he asked, "Marco, what do you want to say?" The rest of the captains also looked at Marco. In the Whitebeard pirates group, there are 12 captain-level characters. They have not yet reached the later 16, and they are not all those captains 10 years later. Marco said, "Father, how far are we going to avenge Carl? Kill Akainu, or how?" "Of course I killed the bastard Akainu. I've seen that guy displeased a long time ago. This time he must be killed." Whitebeard hadn't spoken yet, but the 6th Division Captain Bramming couldn't help but yelled loudly. Marco glanced at him and said, "Akainu is now Marine Admiral, is it so easy to kill?" Although Marine is not very powerful in New World now, Marine Marshal Sengoku and Marine Admiral Akainu have just taken the throne. If we go to war, they will definitely not retreat, and they will inevitably start a war with us. This is for sure. As the newly appointed Marshal and Admiral, if they are counseled at this time, who will look at Marine in the future? So as long as Whitebeard moves, Marine will definitely take it no matter what it is. Now that the New World 4 Emperors have established 3 people, there are still many forces coveting your position, Daddy. If we fight Marine because of this incident, I think there will be many people who have fallen into trouble. In a few words, the pirates on the scene all have solemn faces. Now they are no longer full of a pirate group like before, and the whole family is not worried. Now they have a large number of territories and pirate groups under their command. These are fetters, so naturally it's impossible to do what you think like before. There are too many things to consider. Goo la 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 la. Whitebeard laughed. If I, Whitebeard, can't even protect my subordinates, how can I gain a foothold in New World? If Marine kills my people, I have to pay a price. This is my iron rule. If you can't die for it, the children take revenge. Where will their souls go? Marco, don't need to say anything. Immediately summon the people and horses to the marine base. I want to see how courageous the magma imp from marine is. Even Lousy's people dare to move. The pirates, who were still worried before, after hearing Whitebeard's words, all cheered. Whitebeard is their spiritual support. As long as Whitebeard says a word, they are willing to go through fire and water, and they will not hesitate. So Whitebeard said to fight, they will never. There are any objections. Even Marco, who had said that before, immediately adjusted his mind after Whitebeard made his decision and asked Whitebeard, Daddy, do you want to summon everyone? Whitebeard waved his hand and said, it's just a marine kid. I don't need so many people. Just take the manpower of our pirate group. If they are acquainted with each other, well. If they don't know each other, let them bear Lousy. I want to let everyone in New World know that no one can hurt my child. Learn. Marco responded and went to make preparations. Although New World's marine is not naval headquarters, even so, it must be treated with caution. After all, marine is the most powerful organization in the sea. The action of the Whitebeard pirate group immediately attracted the attention of the major forces in the New World. As the most powerful pirate emperor in the New World so far, the Whitebeard pirate group's every move is closely watched by the major forces, although there are only 3 huge pirate warships, but Whitebeard is among them. This is the biggest problem. Mom, the Whitebeard pirates seems to be moving. They dispatched 3 warships, including the Mobile Dick. I don't know what they want to do. The Big Mom pirate group, which has just established one of the New World 4 emperors, although they are not close to Whitebeard's site, they are not very far apart. They are both New World 4 emperors. Naturally, they should pay close attention to the movements of the other 2, especially it was Whitebeard. When Whitebeard moved, they naturally wanted to attract attention. Charlotte Linlin, who looked like a hill, stared, and asked suspiciously. Whitebeard hasn't done anything for the past 2 years. This time he dispatched the entire pirate group. What does he want to do? Is he planning to do something to Kaido? Mom, we haven't figured out Whitebeard's purpose, but apart from the Whitebeard pirates, the other pirates did not move out, but they seem to have gathered together, as if something big is about to happen. Although Whitebeard only ordered the pirates of his group to dispatch, the pirate groups under his command are all ready to go, gather together, and be able to act at any time. Send someone to pay close attention to the movement of the Whitebeard pirates to see what they want to do. Charlotte Linlin gave the order. The only person who had conflicts with Whitebeard recently was Kaido, but she felt that Whitebeard shouldn't provoke a war, but since Whitebeard moved, she had to guard against it. Also received the news are Beast's pirates and the other big pirate groups in New World. Those pirates are watching the excitement and are not afraid of big things. They are all looking forward to Whitebeard's big moves, as long as they are not aimed at themselves. To say which party is the strongest spy agency in the world, CP0, a subordinate of the world government, must definitely be in the forefront. Not long after the Whitebeard pirates' operation, they immediately received the intelligence, and then they passed various intelligence and analysis, and finally got an amazing answer. Whitebeard is about to take action against Marine. This matter is very important, so they passed it to the world government as soon as possible, and handed it directly to 5 elders. Whitebeard was originally a dangerous person that the world government attaches great importance to. Now he actually wants to do something on Marine, which naturally attracted the attention of 5 elders, and they immediately conveyed the message to Naval Headquarters. Naval Headquarters Sengoku was shocked after receiving the information from 5 elders. He had long known that sending Akainu to New World would inevitably have an impact on the pirates' New World, but he did not expect Akainu to move so fast. So big, aimed the spearhead at the most difficult Whitebeard pirate group. Sakazuki, the kid, really hasn't changed his impulsive character, and he has caused trouble again. Although it was a big trouble, Sengoku didn't really blame Akainu, and there was no reason to blame it. He sent Akainu to New World to kill the pirates. What? Sometimes his thoughts are the same as those of Akainu. In the face of pirates, Marine can't compromise, especially the pirates who have risen to the 4 emperors level. It's okay for them to be stable, but now they actually want to openly act on Marine. This is absolutely not allowed. But Whitebeard is not easy to deal with. Some arrangements should be made to let the pirates of New World know that it is not your turn to call the shots on the sea. In fact, at the beginning of sending Akainu to New World, he had already thought of this situation. As the so-called new officer took office, there were 3 fires. After he took office, Marshal Marine did not even burn a fire. At this time, the opportunity came. And still the biggest of all the pirates, his old opponent, how could he let it go? With an order from Sengoku, the naval headquarters, the strongest military force on the sea, was immediately activated, but this movement is classified even among high-level personnel, and only a few people know about it. The first major incident against pirates after Marine's new marshal took office is coming. New World, Marine G5 branch base. Claude and Akainu are sitting opposite each other. Both of them are not very good looking. Sakazuki, this is Marshal Sengoku's order, Claude said quietly. Akainu was silent for a moment, and then said grimly, it seems that this time Marshal Sengoku was used as a gun. This marshal is really foresight. Since receiving the order from Sengoku, he has been very upset. Before, he thought that Sengoku sent him to New World because he wanted to deliberately distract him, or that he wanted him to sit in New World. But now it seems that his thoughts are really naive. Sengoku just wants to use him to get him in contact with the pirates of New World, and then induce a lot of movement, and finally he will finish it and infiltrate it again. New World, consolidate its position and expand its momentum. Awesome, really amazing, this is simply a scheming. Claude looked at Akainu with a gloomy face, but also a face of helplessness. Even if he is a person who usually doesn't want to use his brain, he can see that this time things are too weird. Akainu just solved the Whitebeard pirates. A large pirate group under his command. Whitebeard has not heard any movement, but Sengoku of Naval Headquarters has already sent an order. If there is no problem in the middle, there will be ghosts. It's just that what Akainu said is right. It's not a conspiracy at all, but a conspiracy. Sengoku didn't calculate Akainu either. It can only be regarded as a reasonable use of Akainu's character. It's just that this kind of thing seems to be nothing to others, but for the person involved, this is a bit of a response. Sakazuki, now that Marshal Sengoku said that the Whitebeard pirates has made a move, then we must take precautions in advance. Akainu calmed down and said, don't worry about me. There is no loss in this matter for me. If I do well, it will make me famous. I won't think about it. He doesn't think he is extremely smart, but he doesn't go to the horns like some people do. At this time, he has relieved, and no more anger and dissatisfaction, because this is no longer necessary. Sengoku is doing the layout. In fact, if Sengoku told him in advance, he would definitely follow Sengoku's thinking. However, Sengoku did not do that. There was only one reason, that is, he did not regard him as a confidant, but simply as a confidant. Subordinates, but still not trusted subordinates. Of course, he thinks this is also normal. The composition of Marine is inherently more complicated. Marine Admiral's power is very high and it is close to Sengoku. His position is not given by Sengoku. There is a large group of people behind him who support him explicitly and secretly. Of course the two cannot be in the same heart. Since they are not the ones who can put their hearts on their minds, why bother to think about it? Claude, you are the general here. You can make a decision for what Marshal Sengoku ordered. Akainu said to Claude, then stood up and prepared to leave. Hey, Sakazuki, where are you going? Claude called out when Akainu was about to leave. Akainu turned his head and said, don't worry, I am a soldier, and I will obey orders, and Marshal Sengoku's choice is also in favor of Marine. Of course I will raise my hands in favor. Believe you to blame. Seeing Akainu's departure, Claude sighed helplessly and said to himself, Marshal Sengoku's idea is indeed good, but the problem is that this time it is the Whitebeard pirates. Today's Whitebeard pirate group is no longer comparable to a few years ago, for fear of being bitten if you fail to fight a tiger. Claude, who has worked hard at New World for many years, knows the situation of New World very well. He also knows that the people above must also understand the pattern of New World, but Sengoku and others have not had a deep understanding of the pattern of New World for several years. New World, the pirate forces of the pirates are really terrifying year by year, especially the Whitebeard pirate group. It's right to think of leeway, but you can find the Whitebeard pirates, which is obviously not the right choice. Of course, this is what he thinks. Sengoku obviously doesn't think so. Like Akainu, he is also a soldier, so he can only obey Sengoku's orders and start preparing. After Akainu left, he did not return to his place, but went to the cell in the base. Although he had previously caught the people of the Molo pirates, he had guessed that Whitebeard would not give up, but he did not expect all of this is in Sengoku's calculations, and it was he who lit the flame. In fact, he is really speechless. Both Whitebeard and Sengoku are ready to act. Is this going to stage a battle for the top 19 years later? Although he doesn't know what happened at this time in the comics, he can be sure that something like this has never happened. Although his arrival has not changed the general trend, the minor trend has changed a lot, just don't know this time. What will the event eventually evolve into? He came to the cell not for anything else, but to meet the pirates he caught. Sakazuki Admiral. Sakazuki Admiral. Along the way, all Marine soldiers who saw Akainu were very respectful salutes. Regarding the power of Akainu, during this time, the soldiers of the G5 branch had a clear understanding of them, so naturally they would respect them very much. Walking to one of the cells, Akainu looked at Carl Anthony Alex, the captain of the Molo pirates who was being held in it, and shouted, Carl Anthony Alex. In the cell, Carl's hands and feet were handcuffed to sea stone shackles, and with so many marine guards around him, it was impossible for him to escape here. Hearing Akainu's call, he slowly raised his head, and when he saw Akainu, he snorted disdainfully. Fart, let go. I haven't seen you in a few days, you don't seem to be afraid of me anymore. Since that day passed, Carl has never provided him with a fear value, and he has not come to the other party, until today he came to see Carl again, with only one purpose, and that is for the fear value. A double fear card appeared in his hand. This consumable can be drawn as long as the fear value is spent, so he won't save it when using it, so he uses it against Carl. Use double fear card. Target: Carl Anthony Alex. Successfully used the double fear card. Hearing Akainu's words, Carl snorted and said, Akainu, you value yourself too much. What do you have to scare me? Kill my brother like you did before? You can't scare me anymore. Persuade you don't waste your energy. No matter what you say, I won't tell you a little bit of information. Akainu said, I admire people with spine and loyal people like you, but unfortunately, you have chosen the wrong path and become a pirate, so we are destined to be enemies. I will come to you today. I don't want to get Whitebeard's information from you, because I know it's impossible. What's the matter? Hurry up after finishing talking. I will think of those dead brothers when I see your face. I want to kill you 1,000 times. Carl shouted to Akainu with a sullen face. Akainu said, if you have this ability, I don't mind, but now it seems that you don't have this ability. Well, nonsense, I don't want to talk to you pirate too much. I came to you today, but I have 2 news to tell you. One is good news and the other is bad news. I don't know which one you want to hear first. Woolen cloth? A good news, a bad news, which one do you want to hear first? Hearing Akainu's words, Carl's expression was a little puzzled, but he quickly covered it up and said coldly, don't be mystical, Akainu. Hurry up if you have anything to say, and get out if you don't. I have dealt with pirates more often. Akainu has already been able to do some swearing and insulting words long ago. He said indifferently, since you don't choose, then let me give you a choice, just say it first. Good news. Carl Anthony Alex, the good news I want to tell you is that Whitebeard has begun to gather people and come towards our marine base, with the goal of saving you and avenging you pirates. Well, do you feel very excited and happy to hear this news? Carl was really stunned. Not only him, but also the pirates of the Moro pirates in the cells around him. Akainu's voice is not small, so they all heard it. Compared to the stunned Carl, the rest of the pirates shouted excitedly. Daddy is here for us, and Dad is here to save us. Great. No one in New World can stop Dad. Dad will definitely save us out. Yes, Dad can kill Marine without leaving it. Akainu, just wait to die. Haha, great. The pirates cheered excitedly, as if Whitebeard would appear in front of them next moment, rescue them all, and then knock down Akainu and other Marines, insulting and tormenting them. Akainu turned a deaf ear to the cheers of these pirates, just looked at Carl and asked, are you also excited to hear this news? Carl did not speak, but judging from his slightly trembling body, he was very excited at this time. Akainu continued, but don't get too excited. Did you forget what I just said? I brought 2 pieces of news. What I just said was good news, and there is one bad news that I haven't said. You don't want to listen? Carl's excitement suddenly stopped. Seeing Akainu's expressionless face, he couldn't help but feel his heart tremble. Instinctively felt wrong. With their father's power, if they really came to rescue them, it would be a marine admiral like Akainu. It is absolutely impossible to be so calm. What do you want to say? Carl asked dryly. Akainu looked at him and said faintly, the bad news is that this is a conspiracy specifically against you, a conspiracy specifically against Whitebeard, use you to bring Whitebeard over, and then use the power of naval headquarters to wipe them out in one fell swoop. By the way, you may not know. Today this base is already full of troops from naval headquarters, gathered countless generals, just waiting for Whitebeard to throw himself into the net. How? This should be bad for you. News. What did you say? What did you say? Hearing this, Carl stood up suddenly, rushed to the iron railing money in the cell, stretched out his hands to catch Akainu, and shouted at Akainu with red eyes. Fear score from Carl Anthony Alex. +395. Although he was roaring angrily, fear appeared uncontrollable in his heart, and the fear was still not small. With the double fear card, the fear value was 790, which was very impressive, which made Akainu very satisfied. Fear score from Walid Karis, +142, from. Except for Carl, the pirates who had cheered before also fell silent for an instant. They were all dumbfounded, staring at the roaring Carl blankly. Many people, like Carl, began to appear in fear. Akainu sneered mockingly at the corner of his mouth, staring at Carl, and slowly said, you heard it right, what I just said is true. This is a conspiracy against Whitebeard. We Marine has already laid a net here. Just wait for Whitebeard to come over, and then come to an urn to catch a turtle. You Whitebeard pirates will be over soon, and it is you and you that caused this to happen. Ha ha ha. Looking at Akainu who was laughing, Carl went crazy, hitting the railing desperately, trying to get out of the cell. Let go of me. Akainu, you bastard, you let me go. If you have the kind, you will come to me. Use this kind of conspiracy to calculate what hero. Akainu, you despicable bastard. You dog-like bastard. How dare you? Calculate father, come here, I will kill you, kill you. Carl completely lost control. He was not afraid of death, but after hearing Akainu's words, the whole person shuddered. If everything Akainu said is true and Whitebeard really comes, then he has fallen into Marine's trap. If something happens to the old man, he is the culprit, so he can't wait to choke himself to death. But he also knew very well that even if he died, he couldn't change everything. He was really panicked and confused now. The fear value from Carl was wave after wave. In just a few minutes, he alone provided Akainu with more than 4,000 fear points, and it is still increasing. This time double the fear card. It really doesn't hurt at all to use it. Not only him, but the dozens of other pirates who are still alive are also fearful, but the total number of them is a little more than the fear value provided by Carl alone. The reason for this is also very simple. They are more angry than Carl, who feel that everything is their fault and take all the responsibility on themselves, so their fear is naturally not Carl's. Many. Sakazuki Admiral. A few guard soldiers rushed in. After seeing this scene, they all looked at Akainu. Akainu waved at them and said, "It's okay, you go out first." The soldiers turned around and left without saying a word. With Akainu here, there is no need to worry that these pirates will have problems. Akainu said again, "You don't need to worry, it should be in these few days, Whitebeard will be coming soon. If you can really catch Whitebeard or kill Whitebeard, I might let you meet. After all, it's all because of you, Carl Anthony Alex." Carl slammed into the sturdy cell frantically. Even if blood came out of his body, he didn't frown. He didn't know how to vent the resentment and fear in his heart, so he could only torture himself in this way. Captain Carl. Carl. Turning a deaf ear to the shouts of his companions, Carl has fallen deeply into self-blame and into the world of himself. In this short period of time, the fear value has increased by more than 10,000. Akainu is very satisfied. Although the method of doing this is inferior, he can get a lot of rewards. These fear values are important factors for him to increase himself. Facing the upcoming Whitebeard, even if it is him, his heart is heavy and depressed. Only when he becomes stronger can he face Whitebeard more confidently. In the next 2 days, Akainu went to the cell to visit the pirates of the Moro pirates in his cell. Every time, he didn't talk much, but the pirates of the Moro pirates were terrified. They knew from Akainu's mouth. Whitebeard was about to lead people to come. They knew it was a trap and a conspiracy, but there was no way to inform them, which made them very painful and scared. In 3 days, Akainu gained a total of 30,000 fear points from these pirates. The amount is very staggering. It is also rare that he can gain so many fear points in a short period of time. Such opportunities are rare. After all, a person may be afraid, but he will not always be afraid, just like he trained those soldiers. At the beginning, there were a lot of fear points, but soon they didn't collect much fear points. Those Marines, the same is true for soldiers. Everyone already knows who you are, so how can you still be afraid of you? Besides, with his admiral identity, if he is okay to scare people, then it will be too low, and he has not gained much fear, so now the pirate is his best target for reaping fear. The reason why this group of pirates of the Moro pirate group can provide him with so much fear is mainly because of their loyalty to Whitebeard, which makes them feel guilty and worried, so they have so much fear. Ordinary pirates only provide hundreds of fear points when they kill him, and it is difficult to provide him with all the time. Sakazuki Admiral. Claude Vice Admiral is looking for you, saying that someone from the department is here. As soon as Akainu walked out of the cell, he heard Marine telling him from outside. From the naval headquarters in the first half of the Grand Line to the New World G5 branch base, the journey is still very far away. The people from naval headquarters can arrive so quickly, and the speed can be described as very fast. In fact, in the past few days, enough people from the Whitebeard pirates have come here, but for some reason, the Whitebeard pirates has not come yet, which makes the already tense atmosphere even more tense. If Whitebeard had come early, it would actually be better, because it means that he had made a temporary intention and did not make much preparation, but he has not come now, then it means that Whitebeard must have made enough preparations, only more trouble. Should there be no situation like the battle on the top not happening in advance, right? Akainu was also a little depressed. In his opinion, this was originally a trivial matter. Although he destroyed the Molo pirates, this is New World. Isn't it normal to kill each other? Even for the Whitebeard pirates, it is impossible that no one has been killed, but Whitebeard has not seen revenge. And as time passed, He felt that this time things were unusual. Sengoku might want to stand up, and Whitebeard might also have this idea. The position of the 4 emperors has been established as the third, and New World has slowly stabilized. Even if there are pirates who want to fight for the position of the remaining pirate emperor, the remaining 3 emperors must be on the sidelines. New World, no matter how chaotic the pirates are, it cannot be larger than before. The pirates stabilized, so their eyes will inevitably be aimed at other forces. Marine is the first to bear the brunt. At this time, it happened that Akainu destroyed the Molo pirates, which could be said to have lit the fuse all at once. In fact, Akainu did not expect that Whitebeard was not prepared to make much movement, but this matter was publicized by someone with a heart, and Whitebeard was forced to a very embarrassing position. As the head of the 4 emperors of New World, the first pirate, now all the pirates' eyes are on him, wanting to see how he confronts Marine. Therefore, this battle is the battle between the pirate 4 emperors and the Marine. The victory or defeat will directly determine the pattern of the next New World. Whether it is the pirates, the Marine, or the world government that has the final say. As soon as Akainu walked into the hall, he heard a burst of laughter, and then saw many people sitting in the hall. Sakazuki, where did your kid go? We can't even see you when we come. Before Akainu could speak, he yelled in a loud voice. No need to think about it. Now there is only one Marine who can talk to him in this tone, and that is Garp. Sure enough, he saw Garp sitting boldly on the chair at a glance, shouting at him with an unhappy expression on his face. Akainu just glanced at him, then walked to the main seat and sat down. His current identity is Marine Admiral. Even if he is younger, his identity is there. Here, he naturally wants to sit in the first place. Crane Vice Admiral, Paluzolino, Kuzan, you guys have a hard time running. At this time, there were a dozen people sitting here. The lowest ranks were Vice Admiral, Garp, Crane Vice Admiral, Paluzolino, Kuzan, and several Marine Vice Admiral, all from Naval Headquarters. Akainu was also quite surprised. This time Sengoku was really cruel and sent such a strong lineup. It seemed that he was really ready to do it for Whitebeard. Hey, why don't your kids say hello to me? Do you look down on people when you become an admiral? Garp yelled at Akainu very uncomfortably. After fighting with Akainu a few times, the relationship between the two has become very good, so he is not polite at all to scream with Akainu. Akainu still ignored him, and instead asked Crane, Vice Admiral Crane, I wonder if you brought your female barracks with you this time. Fear score from Monkey D. Garp, plus 354. As soon as his voice fell, he immediately received the prompt from the system, and then saw the arrogant Garp sitting upright, blinking at him constantly. Although Crane Vice Admiral wondered why Akainu asked this question, she still replied, the female soldiers have not been trained yet, so naturally they can't participate in the war. But Lasana clamored to come with me this time, but I considered this time things were a bit dangerous, so she was not brought here. Akainu nodded and said, you are right. Then he asked again, I don't know what Marshal Sengoku's order this time, what do you want me to do? Crane Vice Admiral has the highest status and is also the General Staff Officer, so this time she is in charge. She said, Sengoku's order is, no matter what Whitebeard does, we cannot retreat at all, we must fight back strongly. This time we brought a total of 20,000 soldiers from the headquarters, plus the G5 branch and your people, for a total of more than 30,000. Unless Whitebeard puts all his strength on it, it will be enough to deal with him. Akainu nodded secretly. This time Sengoku has really lost his blood. Not only did Naval Headquarters send the strongest combat power, but also brought 20,000 elites. This is really ready to be tough with Whitebeard, but such a choice it also fits his mind. Is there any whereabouts of the Whitebeard pirates? Vice Admiral Crane asked Akainu. Akainu really didn't know this, so he looked at Claude. Claude said, the information we got is that the Whitebeard pirates did indeed move a few days ago, but they have disappeared these days, and there is no trace of them. However, the sea under the command of Whitebeard the thief groups have gathered a lot, and many pirate groups are coming towards us. He Vice Admiral said, according to the distance, if Whitebeard wanted to come, it would have been there long ago, but he didn't show up, then it means that he already knew our purpose. Garp said loudly from the side, the old fellow Whitebeard is still a bit level. I told Sengoku a long time ago that this kind of thing can't help Whitebeard at all. Annoying. For him, the fight starts, there is no need to be like hide and seek. Whitebeard has been in New World for so many years, where is it so easy to be ambushed? If it is really at that level, how can he live to the present? It's just that everyone didn't care about Garp, and Claude continued. The Whitebeard pirate group doesn't have much intelligence, but recently many of the other New World pirates have gathered in this sea area, just don't know if they are here. Those who watch the excitement are still ready to take advantage of the fire. A few days have passed since the actions of the Whitebeard pirates, and now everyone in New World who has some knowledge knows the problem between Marine and Whitebeard. These people came here at this time, and the purpose is self-evident. Akainu said, Those people are just clowns, don't worry about them, as long as we don't lose and give them the courage, they dare not do anything to us. This sentence made everyone present nod their heads. Don't look at the pirates who are usually very arrogant. They don't pay much attention to Wavelet Marine, but they really want to fight Naval Headquarters and Marine Admiral. There are really not many people. Have the guts. You have come from afar, so you should fix it first. Whitebeard hasn't appeared so far, and I must be unprepared. Wait a minute. Although Akainu was sure that Whitebeard would appear in his heart, he also couldn't say when Whitebeard would appear. Garp and the others came from Marineford and were always at sea. The soldiers must have been exhausted. At this time, he should hurry up and fix it. When the time came to noon the next day, someone rushed in and said that the Whitebeard pirate group had already appeared. A dozen or so pirate ships were coming in the direction of the G5 branch base. Akainu will soon be all Vice Admiral. People at all levels gathered. The information has come, and Whitebeard has appeared. Because Akainu was the first to receive the news, although the others knew that Akainu might have something important to summon them, their expressions changed greatly after hearing Akainu's words. Garp and Crane Vice Admiral are relatively stable. Garp laughed and said, Whitebeard is finally here. Fortunately, I didn't have to wait for long. He Vice Admiral said indifferently, Whitebeard came at the right time, not going forward, just right. Akainu agrees with this, and I don't know if Whitebeard has received the news that he appeared soon after the support of Naval Headquarters. Could it be that he was waiting on purpose? Akainu absolutely hates pirates, but to be honest, he doesn't really hate pirates like Whitebeard, apart from his position, because among the pirates, existence like Whitebeard really the ones are relatively rare, and there is no one in every situation. Most pirates are the kind of unscrupulous means to achieve their goals, such as Blackbeard, but Whitebeard is still upright in his work. According to Claude, the pirates under the Whitebeard pirate group may have many oppressive civilians, but the pirates of Whitebeard's group rarely do such things. It's really weird to say that. Don't read the comics. When the battle for the top broke out, after the death of Whitebeard, so many people cheered and seemed very happy and excited, but in fact, as far as the current New World is concerned, Whitebeard's reputation is really good, especially in the territories occupied by Whitebeard. Whitebeard is more like a savior, which is completely impossible for other pirate forces. Now Akainu is the highest officer here, so the order will naturally be given by him. He said in a deep voice, Garp Vice Admiral, Crane Vice Admiral, Paluzolino Vice Admiral, Kuzan Vice Admiral, Claude Vice Admiral, Harrington Vice Admiral, please gather the soldiers immediately and gather them as quickly as possible. Since Whitebeard dares to come, then we will let him not go back. No matter what kind of person Whitebeard is, since he is a pirate, he is his enemy, and is a pirate sheltering civilians. This sounds like a funny thing. The pirate may not be a bad person, but it is still a thief. After the order was issued, the Marine G5 branch and soldiers from the headquarters quickly gathered. 20 to 30,000 people gathered and appeared in front of the defensive wall outside the base. The artillery, warships, etc. were all prepared, and a battle was about to come. Feel. Except for no live broadcast, this is like a reduced version of the top battle, so Akainu has always been very serious. Standing on the highest platform, Akainu looked at the Marine soldiers who had gathered below. As the Marine Admiral with the highest rank here, he naturally needed to complete the mobilization before the war. Holding the phone worm in his hand, Akainu glanced coldly below, and then said, First am Marine Admiral Akainu. I believe everyone knows what will happen next. We have got the information. The pirates under Whitebeard are preparing to attack. Here, rescue the captured pirate. As a Marine Admiral, it is a great shame to be bullied by a pirate at this moment. I can't bear it. Can you bear it? No, no, no. Without anyone's command, all the soldiers roared, their voices shaking. Akainu is not a person who can speak, but he knows that soldiers need morale at this time, so how to stimulate their morale is what he has to do. Yes, as long as all bloody soldiers can't stand it. Now the whole new world is focused on this, especially those pirates. They want to see our marine jokes. It's just a dream. We Marine is the strongest existence on the sea. It is our responsibility to protect the peace of the sea. What about Whitebeard? Even if the 4 emperors called by New World are here, we are not afraid. Not afraid. Not afraid. Not afraid. Looking at the morale of the soldiers, Akainu raised his hand and spoke loudly. I'm not a person who can talk, but today is different. I give everyone a guarantee. If there is a war, if you can kill pirates and make meritorious service, the more pirates you kill, the greater the credit, as long as you have the ability. To kill the pirates on the reward order, the rank can be upgraded to 3 consecutive ranks, 4 consecutive ranks, and 5 consecutive ranks are not a problem. Able to kill the captain-level pirates of the Whitebeard pirate group, I can call the shots and be directly promoted to Marine Vice Admiral. If anyone can cut down Whitebeard's head, I guarantee that the position of the last Marine Admiral is yours. As soon as this remark came out, the audience was boiling. Although Akainu's words were a bit rebellious in the eyes of Garp and others, they were very useful to motivate soldiers, not to mention that if anyone was really capable of killing Whitebeard, the head of the 4 emperors, he would become Marine Admiral is of course no problem. Report to Sakazuki Admiral that the Whitebeard pirates are less than 3 nautical miles away from here. The colonel in charge of transmitting information came under Akainu and told him that this person's voice is not small, and many people present have heard it, so many people's faces have changed. The current name of the Whitebeard pirates is too big. No matter what Akainu says and how inspired, it can't conceal this ironclad fact. The soldiers from naval headquarters are okay. They are in the first half of the Grand Line. Although Whitebeard the reputation is great, but after all, there is no direct contact, so the senses are not very strong. But the Marines in the New World G5 base are different. They have been in New World for a long time. They are very clear about the strength of the Whitebeard pirates, so now Whitebeard is coming. Even if there are Akainu and Garp etc., they still uneasy in my heart. Akainu's face remained unchanged when he heard the words. He is already a man who has been on the battlefield. He has also seen Whitebeard and played against him personally, so there is no fear of Whitebeard, but the pressure in his heart has multiplied in vain. More than 2 years ago, although the Whitebeard he met had a great reputation, he had not yet become the head of the 4 emperors, and his forces were not very strong, but now it is different. Whitebeard is the head of the pirate 4 emperors, and his power is new. One of the strongest pirates in world, now he leads a pirate group to attack. Everyone will be very jealous, he is no exception. Garp, below Akainu, asked Vice Admiral, Little Crane, the formation is like this, no problem? Crane Vice Admiral said lightly, Whitebeard did not give us time at all. This type of formation is already at the limit. This base is not very large. If Whitebeard wants to attack, he can only attack from the front. Apart from that, there is nothing else. Other ways. The G5 branch base is not as good as the Marineford Naval Headquarters, even if it is inferior to the previous G1 branch base. Said to be a base, it is actually a small island base, unlike the Marineford and G1 branch bases. The 2 islands are relatively large, with a large flow of people, and many entrances and exits. Therefore, although this base is not comparable to the Naval Headquarters base, it also has an advantage. It has a wide field of vision and is surrounded on all sides. It is particularly easy to defend. Unless it is attacked from the front, there is only one way to break through, and that is from the sky. Falling down, but for the Whitebeard pirates, this is simply impossible. Garp's rare expression is serious. I don't know how Whitebeard will fight this time. Whitebeard is not what it used to be. In terms of age, Garp is several years older than Whitebeard, and he made his debut earlier than Whitebeard. Although he was mainly responsible for the pursuit of Roger at the beginning, he has not been in contact with Whitebeard for such a long time in New World. Still quite understand. In terms of strength, Garp is very confident in himself and considers himself invincible with iron fists, but if his opponent is Whitebeard, even he will never be underestimated. Whitebeard's power horror is above shock fruit. Perhaps in the case of 1-to-1, shock fruit is not heaven-defying, but if you are playing a team battle, then shock fruit is definitely the fruit of the world, and it is definitely not an exaggeration to say that it will destroy the world. It is also the place where he fears Whitebeard the most. If Whitebeard wants to, he can even sink the base island where they are. Crane Vice Admiral glanced at Garp and said, Whitebeard is great, but we are not vegetarian either. As the highest-ranking female Marine officer, he Vice Admiral is naturally confident in his camp, not afraid of Whitebeard. In addition to Garp and Crane Vice Admiral, the 3 Vice Admiral responsible for commanding and dispatching are Claude, Pelusalino and Harrington. As the Minister of the G5 branch, Claude is mainly responsible for those in his base. Soldiers, Harrington and Ghost Spider are in charge of Akainu's 5,000 private armies, Pelusalino and Kuzan, and jointly command nearly 20,000 soldiers from naval headquarters. Since the soldiers of the headquarters have just arrived here, the defense of the base and large assault weapons such as cannons are still in the charge of the army under Claude. The soldiers of the headquarters and Akainu's private army are lined up and stand in front. They are face the main force of the Whitebeard pirates. Because it is not like the later battle on the top, with different units and uncontrolled factors such as Shichibukai, this time the scheduling is very convenient. Under the leadership of the respective main generals, there should not be too much problem. At this moment, the base sirens suddenly sounded, and the entire marine of the base was shocked. Akainu also changed his face, standing on the high platform, looking towards the sea ahead. Before long, some black spots slowly appeared on a calm sea in the distance, and as time went by, the black spots became bigger and bigger, and they were huge warships. The base siren is still ringing, reminding everyone that the enemy has arrived. Sure enough, Whitebeard is Whitebeard, it's really here. Akainu looked at the larger and larger pirate ship ahead, and couldn't calm down. Although he guessed that Whitebeard would definitely come, he was still surprised when he did appear. He was just a trivial pirate. If it's like Ace 20 years later, with Ace's identity and potential, it's easier to understand that Whitebeard led the people to rescue him, but now he's just one of the pirate captains under Whitebeard's command, which is nothing at all, but Whitebeard's still coming. But Akainu also knew that Whitebeard didn't know that the pirates of the Molo Pirates were still in his hands, so Whitebeard should not come to save people, but really planned to start with Marine.